this afternoon. You know, you're only as good as your last result, so they say, and we've got to back that up today. Otherwise, last week counts for nothing.
Now, your last home game, there was over 500. The crowds are really coming in here to watch Ashington at present.
In the Carpet-Ride Great Golden Giveaway, there are tens of thousands of oh-so-fantastical prizes to...
They're playing some good football. They're playing some really good football. Ian Skinner's got a really good side here, backed up by his assistant Andy Coyles and Richie Hill. And
howdy partners, howdy partners.
And who really is setting your light at the minute? I mean, is it the strikers?
Earlier in the season, it was no secret that we're lacking up front and lacking how to play up front. Just missing a person up there, a target man. And,
howdy partners, howdy partners.
Then Wilson Nayshaw came in, and then the lad from Morpeth who got on loan, Connor Thompson, and especially Nayshaw. I mean, last week they just couldn't handle his pace, and hopefully you'll see this afternoon for yourself, Dicker.
Well, I wish you all the best this afternoon, Brian. Let's see if we can continue this run and continue your run. 50 years is press officer of Ashington. Hope there's many more for you to come. Colin.
Thank you very much, Paul, and of course to Brian as well. He is exceptionally helpful, Brian, and has been for a number of years, so always good to hear him on the radio as well. We will do our local football roundup as normal at 5:45 this evening. No Women's Championship fixtures this weekend, or the next couple of weekends actually, because England are playing, but we've got 4 teams in the second round of the Women's FA Cup tomorrow. Newcastle United are away at Chorley, Chesterley Street Town at home to Spennymoor, Alnwick away at Burnley, Durham Sestria away at Liverpool Feds, so hopefully all 4 of them, plus Durham and Sunderland, will be in the third round draw, which takes place on Monday afternoon, and that is when the championship teams come into the competition. And now our third commentary of the weekend is tomorrow. Newcastle Falcons at home to the Exeter Chiefs in Rugby Union's Premiership. We keep saying it, but we keep saying it because it keeps being true. The Falcons are still looking for their first win of the season. But head coach Alex Codling keeps saying the same things as well every time Dean Gray interviews him, that it's all about improving.
Oh, look, as I said many times, I don't look at the league table. That's not because I'm avoiding the question. It's just the fact that we are a young group. And we'll take the Saracens game away, which we were second best by a distance. But actually, sometimes you realise that you watch the game the following week when they played Harlequins away and did pretty similar things to them, so they are a world-class team. And the other games we've been really competitive. We should have and could have, so the table could and should look very different. It's not. You can't change the past, you can only influence the future. And I said we're really geared up for Sunday, and we know it's a massive game, and everyone here is under no illusion how important it is to get the win.
So there will be live commentary of the Newcastle Falcons against Exeter on the BBC Sport website and app from around about 2:30 tomorrow afternoon, with kick-off at 3 o'clock. All 4 of the top 4 in the Premiership were in action last night. So Sale extended their lead at the top of the table with a tense, tight 11-9 victory over Bath. There were points galore though in the other one. Northampton Saints eventually beating Harlequins by 36 points to 33. In basketball in the BBL Championship at 5 o'clock tonight, the Newcastle Eagles are away at Surrey Scorchers. They've won 5 in a row, have the Eagles. Jordan Johnson is going for 4 MVP awards in a row as well this evening. In the WBBL, 2 games for us to look out for today. The Eagles are away at Sheffield Hatters at 6 o'clock. Sorry, that's tomorrow, that one is. Away at Sheffield Hatters at 6 o'clock. But the Durham Palatinate in action today at home to Manchester Giants. They're about to get, in fact, they have just got the final period underway. The Palatinates leading by 58 points to 51. They had a nice big lead after the first period, then lost the next 2, but hold an overall lead of 7 with about 9 minutes remaining in that one. In the darts, the Players' Championship, mixed results for the 2 Bedlington boys in the first round last night. Great result for Chris Dobie, who beat Raymond van Barneveld by 6 legs to 3, but it was the reverse result for Callan Ridds, who was beaten 6-3 by Michael van Gerwen. In Snooker's UK Championship, the first round gets underway, in fact has got underway today, but our interest is tomorrow. Gateshead's Elliot Slessor taking on Zhang Anda at 1 o'clock tomorrow. He spoke to the BBC's Jamie Broughton after Friday night's final qualifying round win over Washington's David Lilly.
It's a funny one, that ball
Barbican. I've been on the tour for, what, 12 years? I've never won a match there, so hopefully I'm due one. But I'm just looking forward to it. Like, I wasn't expecting much before this tournament. I haven't been playing well for quite a while now. You sit and ask yourself questions, the amount of times I thought, do I just knock it on the head? Like, because I don't really want to be like what you would class as like a journeyman pro. I've been to the Crucible a couple of times, a few semi-finals, but the last couple of seasons I haven't really been performing how I want or how I really should, even in practice as well. So I've changed a few things and actually found a bit of game back.
And fingers crossed that continues tomorrow. It was Thursday night that he beat David Lilley, not Friday night. But the tournament is underway today. Mark Allen's begun the defence of his title against China's Ding Junhui. It's actually a repeat of last year's final. Mark Allen leads by 1 frame to 0. The other match that has started the tournament, Mark Williams against Fan Zhengyi. They are still in the opening frame. In the ice hockey, Whitley Warriors in action twice across the weekend. They're away at Blackburn Hawks at 6 o'clock tonight, and then at home at Hillheads against Nottingham Lions at 5 p.m. tomorrow. A couple of other bits and pieces to finish with then. In tennis, Novak Djokovic and Yannick Sinner are the two stars in today's Davis Cup semi-final between Serbia and Italy. The winners will face Australia in the final, which is the whole thing's being held in Spain because Australia beat Finland in the first semi-final yesterday. And Ireland's Katie Taylor says she doesn't think she has ever been more motivated for a boxing fight as she prepares to take on Chantal Cameron in Dublin tonight. Cameron, the English woman, defending her light welterweight belts because Taylor looks to avenge what was her first defeat in her entire career 6 months ago. There is commentary of that one on BBC Radio 5 Live from 10 o'clock this evening. But it is time for us to go our separate ways, so to speak. If you want to listen to Newcastle United against Chelsea with Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson, that build-up and commentary will be on FM. If it's Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett ahead of Sunderland's game at Plymouth that you want, why wouldn't you? You need to be listening on DAB Digital Radio or Freeview Channel 719. Take your pick now.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
This week, Colette started as our permanent newsreader, and to get to know her, you lot have been sending your questions in. Sarah sent me a message. If Colette had to kill off one Disney character, who would it be?
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty? Why is that?
She's just waiting for a man to change her life, and she's just sleeping. Grow up, Sleeping Beauty. Get a job.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Back Monday morning
from 6.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Total Sport Northeast.
The
sound of Sunderland.
Embleton now trying to roll it through here. Runs back behind onto the right-hand side of Roberts. Roberts! Yeah! He's on fire! Roberts! Excellent. Patrick Roberts. That's the game wrapped up for Sunderland.
Great sport kicks off here.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Welcome back to Home Park. It's a dry day, it's a cold day. It was a heavy frost this morning. Temperatures I don't think are going to get much above 7 or 8 degrees today, but it's a fundamentally pleasant day. I've just been wiping pasty off my notice actually and smacked it. Spill a bit, one make a little bit of a mess there. The Sunderland team, no surprise, Patterson in goal, Hume, Ballard's okay, O'Nien and Huggins, Neil, Equa, Roberts, Jobe, Clark and Rusin. The bench is Bishop, Dack, Pritchard, Shishbar, Sealt, Hamir, Triantis and Mayenda. A couple of changes for Plymouth Argyle likewise. In goal, Michael Cooper. I think they'll go for a back four. Barley Mumba, Julio Pleguezuelo, who's a Spanish centre-half, Lewis Gibson, formerly of Newcastle United, and then Kane Kessler-Hayden, who's on loan from Aston Villa. I think will be a back four. Joe Edwards, Jordan Houghton in midfield, and then 3, Luke Cundle, Morgan Whittaker, Finn Azaz, who's on loan from Aston Villa, and up front Ben Wayne, who's just flown back from Greece, where he was playing for New Zealand this week. So he goes back into attack. They do bring back onto the bench Mustafa Bundu.
I enjoyed the show last night, but I was knackered last night after the show. I kept falling asleep.
One goal to his name this season against Sheffield Wednesday. He's been out with a hamstring injury. He returns to the Plymouth Argyle squad as does...
No, it was afterwards when we were having a bit of crack on. You probably realised I didn't speak much. I kept dozing off. It was such a busy
Galloway.
week.
Maybe we can get a bit more about that from Sunderland's club historian, Brendan Galloway. Good afternoon, Rob Mason. Rob.
Good afternoon, Nick.
Good afternoon. Brendan Galloway, I mean,
I thought it was a
I'm
fair
not sure
result.
where he ranks in the absolute record, which just mentioned that Benno on the way down to Devon yesterday was telling me how he's ploughed through the absolute record and counted the number of black players that have played for Sunderland.
Yeah.
99, he says.
Yeah, absolutely. An awful lot. He wasn't the first, but he was one of the first. Brendan Galloway, let's be kind and say he tried his best, but as you say, he didn't have his most successful time in his career at Sunderland. You know, he struggled. He was here at a hard time. He was just a young lad, and things didn't go very well for him. But it's good to see him continuing his career now, and you know, we wish him all the best, except of course when he plays against Sunderland.
I wonder how many players, if you go through the list, you can apply that sentence. He tried his best.
Well,
but
yeah,
that was basically, yeah, wasn't
Was it
very
really?
good.
Sometimes I see people compile like a list of the all-time worst players. That's unkind. For me, if you go on and you try your best, well, you can't ask for any more. For me, if a player deserves criticism, it's if you don't try your best. If you try your best and you're not doing very well,
the Carlisle game on the stream in the background, because they've got new owners now. American owners just took over the other day.
Like that and do all you can to help them. If on the other hand you have a player who you perceive is not trying your best, and I don't need to mention any names, I think all Sunderland supporters can think of these players, and you know, they're not worth their place in your team, they're not worth their place in the club.
Carlisle game on the stream.
You know, you've got somebody sat next to you who didn't just try his best, but was one of the best. That's why he's such a legend of the football club. That's why he's your summariser. That's why we inducted him at the Hall of Fame a fortnight ago yesterday.
And in fairness, Brendan Galloway did arrive at the club at a time when it was, to put it mildly, a basket case.
Exactly, as I said, he was at the club at a difficult time. He was a young lad, he was finding it tough. I don't think anybody could ever say, you know, he didn't give it his all, but clearly he didn't have a good time. You know, perhaps of more interest in the Plymouth side, you're looking at Barley Mumba, who, when Barley came through the youth side at Sunderland and into the reserves, and famously got on for his debut against Wolves at the end of the season when he was 16, and he came on the last couple of minutes and took the armband from John O'Shea as he came off. Technically, for a minute or two, became Sunderland's youngest.
Doing my stream today from my desktop PC for the first time. The laptop's just not designed for it.
But at this stage of his career, I don't think anybody, you know, when he, you know, 4 or 5 years ago,
it's just
I
that.
don't think anybody
Are we doing your Jacob?
With all due respect for Plymouth Argyle.
No, not at all. Again, you know, a victim of circumstance, I guess, Barley Mumba, because Ben, I mean, I'm fairly certain it had been the current ownership, Barley Mumba would still have been at Sunderland and probably playing now for Sunderland.
Yeah, definitely so. And again, you know, the reasons why I came up with that number of how many black players actually
yeah, it's like the OBS takes quite a bit of CPU up, and I think the laptop struggles with it. It's not so much internet speed. I just think it's quite a big program, OBS, but I just think the processor struggles.
And you'll be surprised the players who actually pull the red and white shirt on, and I was astounded.
Yeah, it's like the OBS
I mentioned to Nick, you know, the likes of Louis Starr,
and I think the laptop
you know, when you go through
on my laptop, it was like I was getting the last few streams. I was getting a lot of stuttering, like 2 frames per minute.
As you say, and like, as you've mentioned about the absolute record, I should say that just yesterday we had back from the printers a 4-page supplement that were inserted into all new copies of the book, so anybody who's buying
it's
that
not just
book
that,
now
it's all the programs that's opening with it.
It is still up to date. We've had, I think off the top of my head, 17 players that we've had who debuted through 2023. The most recent being my ender in the last game. So all of those players we've included in a 4-page supplement in exactly the same style as the book.
My speed still 50 megabytes download speed with OBS on. When I was on my laptop, just I had the Wi-Fi thingy in. It was struggling to like 9 to 10 when OBS was kicking in.
Which time we'll have had them delivered to the various shops.
I've got the Ethernet cable plugged into the back, so I'm getting the proper source.
Completely up to date with every player. who's ever played for Sunderland. Who's ever played
Yeah, it's decent, spot on.
Speed, still 50 megabytes download speed, OBS
this afternoon.
Saving up money, get myself a decent microphone boom thing and a webcam as well.
They'll be certainly in shops within a few days. As I say, they came back from the printers yesterday.
I've got the Ethernet cable plugged into the back socket.
All of those players you just mentioned, Barney Mumble, Louis Sahar, Brendan Galloway, Gary Bennett, Rolly Gregoire, and everybody else you care to mention are all included, right up to date.
Quickly worth mentioning as well, a couple of connections, notable connections with Plymouth Argyle for Sunderland. The fact that Plymouth have been managed by both Bobby Saxton and Peter Reid.
And absolutely, and Bobby Saxton, as you say, was a huge figure at Plymouth. Peter Reid.
Good result yesterday, Leeds 1-1, you think?
On the internet early this week, Peter Reid's due to go and give a talk down at Plymouth. I think it's sometime in January. I wouldn't be at all surprised if there's some mention of it in this afternoon's match programme. And I remember when Reedy was manager of Plymouth.
Quality-wise, I don't think Sunderland are that far behind the likes of Leeds, are
I
they?
can't remember which one of Peter's medals it was, but you might remember
result
Nick.
yesterday,
But
Leeds,
certainly,
1-1,
I remember one of Peter's medals, I think from his Everton days, he sort of handed over for auction with all of the proceeds going towards the club to try and help the club. But that was typical of Peter. You know, Peter's a good guy, he's a big favourite of mine, and he's rightly very well thought of at Plymouth, just as he is and should be at Sunderland.
Fantastic, Rob. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Talk to you soon.
One question, Nick.
One question.
Rob,
yes,
Rob.
you've got a question.
About the record. Manchester City.
Yeah,
Is that
well,
right? 23 straight wins.
Yeah, well, I turned into a Liverpool supporter for the day. I've just been watching the closer stages as I was beginning to talk to you. And yeah, Manchester City have been held by Liverpool. So Sunderland's record is the team with the longest run, the top flight longest run of consecutive wins of 24 wins. Has survived. Man City had 23. They've only drawn with Liverpool today. So that record from the team of all the talents stands, and also the TV people at least made an awful lot of Erling Haaland. Why shouldn't they? He scored his 50th Premier League goal today in only 48 games. And they must have told us 20 times that, this was the best in the history of the Premier League. But football didn't begin with the Premier League. And if we go back to that team of all the talents, another person we inducted on the same night as Gary a fortnight ago was Johnny Campbell, the top scorer in that season. And Johnny Campbell's record was better than Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland's just scored his 50th Premier League goal in 48 games. Well, Johnny Campbell got his 50th top flight goal in 46 games.
We've got Easter eggs in our shops at the minute.
That record stands. Thanks very much for Liverpool for getting that draw and keeping that record for Sunderland this afternoon.
Brilliant. I've just thought of another question before you go, Rob, because Simon Pryde raised this last night on Total Sport, and you might have been listening. So
I didn't hear
right,
it. Right,
okay. It's not a football question, but Pryde said I had to put it to Benno, and since you're on as well, I think Rob, you'll probably know the answer. I think it's Indonesia is the country he was talking about last night. How many islands make up the country of Indonesia?
I've got no idea, but I can tell you it's not as many as Sweden, because Sweden's the country in the world with the most islands.
Well, how many Sweden?
I don't know. I think it's something like about. I'm going to. My Swedish-based son will put me right on this, but I think it's something like 146,000.
We've got Easter eggs in our shops at the minute.
Benno?
So if it's 146,
that's Sweden.
That's Sweden. So this must be at least 205.
You're way out. You're way out. The answer is it's around 18,000.
18,000?
18,000, yeah. There you go.
I might be well out on the Swedish number, mate.
No, you probably
number.
You won't be out.
Can you name him?
Yeah. I think it's 4 or 5, Gary. That's my limit, and they're very hard to say.
Brilliant. Well done, both of you. Thank you very much indeed for taking on that idiotic challenge from Simon Pryde. Thanks, Rob. Talk to you soon. Yeah, Rob Mason, Sunderland's club historian. Just how random does this programme get? The build-up continues, of course, to 3 o'clock. We'll hear from Tony Mowbray in a moment. A couple of times we'll hear about the game, strikers, and we'll hear about corners as well, because there's an interesting interview given by the Notts County manager, Luke Williams, this week, when he talks about Notts County taking all their corners short. for a very good reason. But more about that shortly. The Sunderland team this afternoon is Patterson, Hume, Ballard, O'Neill and Huggins, Neil, Ekwa, Roberts, Jobe, Clark and Rusin. And the bench is Bishop, Dack, Pritchard, Aushish, Barr, Sealt, Hermia, Triantis and Mienda. So let's hear from the Sunderland head coach Tony Mowbray for the first time this afternoon.
Tony, do you remember there used to be an advert with football fans on it, and Plymouth, I think they came on as a good old poke to Plymouth. Do you remember you used to go on the bus?
Oh God. Yeah, listen, Plymouth is an historical club, I think, isn't it? It's the stadium, actually, first time I ever went there surprised me how actually nice it was. I know they've changed from the stands, they've got a new stand now, but they've sort of wrapped the other three stands around. The crowds are big. It's probably because it's almost isolated, really, isn't it? The next ground might be Exeter, an hour away or something like that. But I think it can catch you out, I think, if you're not ready for what's coming at Plymouth, because they're quite a passionate support base, and we have to be ready for the game. And our mindset is we will be ready. Whatever they bring, we have to be up for this challenge, and our supporters have made a huge sacrifice to get to that part of the country, and we have to make sure if they have, we make it a good day for them.
Do you know Stephen Schumacher? I know he's from the Northwest, but he's a young coach. He's clearly taken his opportunity when Ryan Lowe moved on, moving up from number 2, and obviously grabbed it with both hands.
Yeah. I don't know him, no, but people speak really highly of him, and the evidence of watching his teams play, they've got really good rotations. They don't just play in straight lines. They bring the full-backs inside, they roll their midfielders out, they drop their wingers down the line and run their 8s high. You have to know what you're doing when you're playing against them, and they're a good football team and they're very well coached, and so we're looking forward to the game, looking forward to the challenge of it, and we're mindful of their strengths and their capabilities of being able to score goals.
Jay Matete was obviously there last season, and I know he's not that far away, but would you take him to Plymouth? Would you take him down for the weekend?
Yeah, no.
We haven't had that discussion. He's actually on the training ground every day now, working hard. He would probably think that he's going to miss out on some days training and getting his rehab sorted out, really. I would imagine. I didn't have that conversation with him, but he does know my door's always open if he wanted to ask that question, of course, and the physios were happy enough to do work down on Saturday with him, because normally the injured players would be in working whilst the team are playing. So, but yeah, we player. He had a good, obviously a good loan at Plymouth, and talks highly of the club and of the coach. So again, we will have to be at our best to try and get some points.
In terms of rehab, are you concerned at all about Dan Ballard and Dennis Sirkin, who do seem to be picking up recurrent hamstring problems?
Am I concerned? I'm always concerned when players pick up injuries. I do think the way we're asking them to play, there's an intensity about how we try to play, there is an energy, and sometimes the work, we're trying to raise the workload of the team as we go.
The streams have
so
been really poor, like having the for buffering recently.
And yeah, some players are finding that challenging, but we'll come out the other end, I'm pretty sure, and be that team we want to be, really, who can go toe to toe with everybody in the league.
I mean, it is an intense month and a half now coming up with some potentially very big games coming up.
Yeah. So we're aware of that, and I think that's why it's good that other players have come into the party, really, and so the opportunities will be there for them, and hopefully they can help the team keep the level as high as we can, and by putting in players who haven't played much, hopefully that doesn't mean that the level drops and we don't find a way to win.
The streams have been really poor, like having the for buffering recently.
That message has been loud and clear to everybody, really. That's why you have to train maximum every day. You can't just be disappointed that you're not in the team and sort of not put the effort in and then come a week on Saturday you get thrown straight in because we pick an injury up our suspension and you're not quite ready and you can't quite do the work. You have to be ready. And I go back to what we talked about earlier. They are a great set of lads who work really, really hard, and I've got no fears that they don't apply themselves maximum every day.
He's not confident today then.
Whenever Newcastle and Sunderland play at the same time, you'll find our black and white commentary on FM and our red and white commentary on DAB and Freeview, channel 719.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Tony Mowbray, Benno, talking there about injuries, and it's, you know, there are certain players that do seem to be prone to certain type of injuries. Now, Sirkin and St Ballard do seem to be a pair that suffer from hamstring injuries. Is that their physiology? I mean, it's because others like Dan, Neil and Job never seem to pick up any injuries. And I've had this discussion so many times now.
It's just getting harder and harder to get streams. It's crazy.
For players like Ballard or Sirkin, who are prone to those sort of injuries, hard pitches,
did you know that
not very good for them.
Well,
that 1-1 draw keeps Sunderland's 132-year-old record?
Players who can go right throughout the full season without picking up injuries. You know, can play, you know, near enough every game of the season.
Yep.
You know, and it's just the way the mechanics are with them. You know, you look at.
Did you guys know that a 131-year record still stands because Man City didn't win their 24th consecutive home win?
That's what's in his makeup. But you look at the likes of maybe Sirkin, you know, the slightest thing, and then unfortunately, you know,
Sunderland are the only team that holds the record of 24 consecutive home wins.
The ones who don't have a very good pre-season,
they would have equalled it today if Man City had beaten Liverpool.
Right throughout the season.
So thanks to Liverpool, our record's still intact.
Did you pick up hamstring injuries, or were yours more knocks that you got in?
Mine was more knocks. You know, but we had a player called Ruben Agbula who was at the club. Now Ruben, again, you know, if you just looked at Ruben, he was injured. You know,
did you guys know
that's
that
how he was. He was one of them, and sometimes it's in the back of his mind. The slightest little thing, you know, he'll pull up. But you know, you'll have other players who.
Welcome everybody to the channel.
Had injuries or carrying maybe a hamstring, but would play on. That's how they are. You know, you look at maybe the likes of Luke O'Nine. You know, he typifies a player who he would play through an injury. You know, that's his makeup.
Earlier.
And in fact, the injury he did have was a dislocated shoulder.
Which yeah, well, I've got the.
In some senses, slightly exceptional. It's not
the fire stick, so.
Injury, if you like.
Yeah, that's right. And it's got to be something like that, which will have to keep the likes of Luke O'Nine out of the
Never
team.
are. It's the only way we'd be all in sync is if we all had Sky TV. It's impossible to be all in sync.
Do you think with the game against Huddersfield, the game against Millwall next weekend, there's going to be a bit of a shake-up in one or two of those games?
Well, I think he'll freshen things up, that's for
It is and
sure.
all.
But I think the
Hello,
good thing for Tony
Andrew.
Mowbray is
We
that
will
you look
win.
at the squad,
What do you think?
and he can shake it
sort
up,
of quite
but also
confident. I think we'll win.
laying down that
Quite
challenge to
confident.
players who, as we say, are knocking on the door, the ones who think they should be in the team. They'll get the opportunity. As I said, we've got a game on Wednesday against Huddersfield and then Millwall.
Yeah,
so
well,
the
I've
ones
got
who
the,
do get that, shall we say, chance, they've got to take it with both hands.
Plymouth score a lot of goals at home. They concede a lot of goals at home. Good opportunity for Rusyn this afternoon to build on what he's been doing the last few weeks.
Yeah, definitely so. You know, we know that he works hard, and I think what we've seen of him, he's grown with confidence now. He's starting to get, shall we say, that understanding, that confidence. He knows what players are going to do now, and he's making them runs to make things happen, and he's working hard. And as I said, it takes time for him to find his feet. But, you know, you just fancy Sunderland, especially when they're away from home, because the teams at home will have to come out at Sunderland, which suits Sunderland, because, again, footballing-wise, you know, you've got to say they're right up there as one of the best teams in the league, footballing-wise. What lets Sunderland down is we're not killing teams off. You know, we should be, you know, there's games where you think we should be 4 or 5 up, but we don't.
mean, this is a big opportunity this afternoon at the start of what is quite an intense period of games. There's some big games coming up, but you know, you'll have looked at this. Tony Mowbray will have looked at this, and whilst he'll never say it.
What do you think of the team? I don't think it's not that bad, to be honest with you.
If we don't leave here with 3 points, I'll be bitterly disappointed.
Patterson, Huggins, Ballard, O'Nine, Hume, Neil, Ekwar, Roberts, Job, Clark, Russian. Substitutes: Bishop, Dak, Pritchard, Ashish, Barr, Seat, Hamir, Trent, Smayenda. Is the oil rig still on international duty, or is he just not? Is he injured or not featuring at all?
If we are amongst you, think, okay, I think we've got a chance here, because obviously the window will open. You can bring in what's needed, but you just look at Sunderland, and I just feel that we can get better. We've done okay.
Well, Gary Bennett seems to think we can get better.
A couple of games which we have lost, we shouldn't have lost. But you just
think of the team? I don't think
I
it's
think
not
the
that
players
bad,
themselves feel as well that they've got something special here. It's just that.
So I've got the new setup here, sort of. I'm using my desktop at the moment. It's a lot quicker. I should be coming across clearer. There'll be no more stuttering on the internet.
6 wins.
Yeah, that's right. And you're just thinking, you look at the top, and you know, when we looked at the start of the season and Preston was at the top, and everyone's gone, oh, Preston. But everybody knew that they were going to fall away. You know, Ipswich, yes, surprisingly, they stayed up there. But saying that, you're thinking they'll have a bad period. They'll have a 2-3 week period where it's not happening.
As we can see, that result from yesterday, rather than 1, Leeds United 1. That's a decent result for Sunderland, that really.
Yeah.
Close the gap on Leeds United if we get 3 points today.
What's going to be the reaction?
So as you can see, the league tables suggest that we should get 3 points today. That's not always the case. Plymouth Argyle on 19th position.
Right, have a listen to this. This is quite interesting. The Notts County manager, Luke Williams, this week has been explaining why Notts County take all their corners short. He says County have the most shots from corners in the entire EFL. So let's hear firstly from Luke Williams, and then Tony Mowbray with his thoughts on corners.
1 in 4 corners results
see
in
that
a
result
shot
from yesterday rather than 1 Leeds United 1. That's a decent result for Sunderland, that really.
The division from corners.
Close
But
the
you
gap
don't know
on
that
Leeds
from corners, do
United
you?
if we get 3
Because
points
unless we
today.
back it in the box, it's not a corner. We take a corner, we pass the ball until that ball is turned over and we give it away, or it goes off the pitch. It's still a corner. We are extremely successful at corners.
Plymouth Argyle
Corners have a very low
19th
success rate
position
across football worldwide. You know, putting the ball into the box. But of course, when somebody runs through the crowd and heads the ball and it smashes into the back of the net, we remember it. We don't remember 50 corners that just got caught by the goalkeeper, hit the side netting, headed away. We just forget. And we also forget that when the ball comes into the pitch immediately and he's passed 5 times and then crossed from the other side, we think it was open play. That it was just a part of the game, but it wasn't. It was from the corner. Some of the defenders, many of the defenders, they love corners because they can have a rest. They're 6'3", so they don't want Dan Crowley running at them or Azza running behind them. They definitely don't want Macca in the box free and scoring 42 goals from open play. We take the ball, put it down, immediately pass the ball, and the defender, again, Notts County. Come on, just kick it into the goalkeeper's hands so we can smash it the length of the pitch and break.
Well, I think what we do in every game is we look at the opposition and see what they do and see if we think there's a vulnerability about them and see whether they. So if they have 3 or 4 6'3" players and they stick them all across the middle of the 6-yard box.
So you guys, anybody watching? Are you quite confident today then?
Huge, big, strong men. It's so why are you going to put it on their big, strong defensive headers? So we'll probably play short, or we'll cut it back to the edge of the box, or we'll hit them.
It was bloody freezing this morning, -8 here just the outskirts of Carlisle.
See if you think there's a very obvious.
Really cold.
We don't sit there and think, oh, we have to take all our corners short, or let's just whip it in the box and see if we can beat their big guys in the air. We hit areas really, and we try and move their best headers into other areas when the ball goes into a specific area, and then of course everything has to align. And
very well indeed, thank you.
Has to attack the space that you're going to put the ball in, and Yeah, I don't think there's any formula that, oh, it's just amazing how they can score every corner they get, because no team does that. But we work hard on set plays, and I'm not sure where we stand this year in goals from corners or second phases of corners or how many we've conceded, other than we put a lot of work into
a scrappy 1-0 win to Plymouth, because Sunderland struggle against teams like this.
And the desire of the guy to, if he's going to head it, to head the ball in the net. And you could put, you know, the biggest players or the best deliverer in it. If the opposition are really good and focused and keep the space is really narrow, and if it just goes over your head, the guy behind him is right in there and heading it out. It's a part of the game that I'm sure every team studies and looks at. And the thing is about corners, you can look at every game gone by. So if we play in Plymouth, we can look at Plymouth's every game this season if we want, the last 16 games for them, and see what they've done in every corner they've taken, and is there a pattern? What are they doing? Have they discovered that the 5'4" right back actually can jump 7'6" and can head it in at the back stick? Or do they take every corner short because they think...
I wonder what strip Sunderland are playing in today.
Disrupt your marking patterns in the box. So if you're marking zonally and you play the ball out to the edge of the box, 20 yards, are they still going to stay on the 6-yard line? Or
They'll have the back drop
towards the 18-yard line? And as they coming up, you drop it over their heads and a late run around the back score. So what I'm trying to say is there's no right or wrong, in my opinion, from set plays.
Makes sense, won't it?
Position, you see their strengths, you see where their potential weaknesses are, and you try and you collate all that with your team, give them like the blueprint of why we should be hitting this area, and then the plan might be perfect, but the delivery on the day might be terrible. Keep it in the first man, and that's what corners and set plays are, I suggest.
Total Sport Northeast.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Fascinating that from Luke Williams. I mean, I suppose ultimately, Tony Mowbray's right. You know, you're not going to take every corner short. You've got to mix and match. You've got to know what your opposition are doing. You do your homework. But it was quite an interesting insight. I suppose Luke Williams knows his team the best. He knows the strength of his forwards and what they offer, and that's his way of working round it, getting the most out of them.
Yeah, definitely so.
The streams have been, even on the Fire Stick, have been like really dodgy as hell. It's like the main TV coverages, I just think, are really clamping down by just continuously sending pulse messages. And what they do is just interrupt the signal and interrupt the stream, basically trying to make it as awkward as possible for you to watch it.
Into the Barn Park end here at Home Park this afternoon. It'll be, I think, a sellout. It holds around 20,000. We're at the back of the new, I say new, it's a few years old now, Mayflower stand, looking down on the pitch. All the flag bearers down in the corner. The dressing rooms are in the corner here, away to our right-hand side. So we're looking forward to what I think will be a good game of football this afternoon. I think there's goals in this game.
There is goals in this game, yeah. And I just think if Sunderland play to, shall we say, the level which it can play, I think we'll go on and win it. Easy.
It'll be a good start to the return following the international break, as we see the teams being led out by referee James Bell, who's in a light blue jersey this afternoon.
Yeah, what I've got at the moment is it's on a continuous loop. It's just stuck. It's just on a continuous loop. They're just getting worse and worse and worse, the streams.
Natty tune to come out to, isn't it?
Different.
Certainly different. Enjoying the moment.
Like the music.
It's got a sort of European flavour to it, this has, isn't it? You think it's a European night or something. You think we were on the continent. Although in terms of travel, we might as well be. The distance these fans have travelled to come down for today's game. I know a number of coaches left this morning and around 4:30 to get here to Plymouth. So well done to all of you for making the journey this afternoon. Some good news this week that Nissan announced that they are expanding their operations in Sunderland and creating thousands more jobs on Wearside. I understand that on a Saturday afternoon,
I'm going to go, I'd like to say 3-0 Sunderland, but it's not going to be that easy, I don't think.
To all the Nissan workers this afternoon, I hope you're listening. I hope someone's realised we're on DAB today and not on
DAB.
FM.
And it's fantastic news for Nissan as well, and for the city of Sunderland.
It is, so hello this afternoon. I hope you are listening today. I hope you got the right frequency. So, fingers crossed. Some sad news as well. Passing on our condolences to the Lowe's family. It was the funeral yesterday of 87-year-old.
Well, every match is available on stream apart from Sunderland. I'm just flicking through the Championship one, and it's the Plymouth one's got Wickham. Got the Wickham match on.
The Lowe's family in the northeast. He was a passionate Sunderland.
I know.
fan.
I go on Plymouth TV and it's got the Wickham game on.
And their family, and remembering Bob Lowe's, who was buried yesterday, 87 years old.
So, no stream at all anywhere for Sunderland. That's weird, isn't it? I'd quite happily pay £15, £20, £30 a month.
Applause for the former Plymouth Argyle striker Mike Bickle, and the players now peel off their red tracksuit tops to reveal the red and white stripes, black shorts, red socks. Plymouth all in green, bit of gold trim. They will get the game underway. James Bell, who hasn't been in charge of a Sunderland game since January 2022 at our old favourite Accrington.
Oh,
a 1-1 draw there, and he was also in charge that season of the 2-1 win at MK Dons, August 2021. So, ready to go. Sunderland fans away to our right. The rest of Home Park full. Benno had to use all his wiles and the fact that he's an MBE to get us a car parking space today, so well done you.
Comes in handy now and then.
Yeah, it's useful, it's the only reason I bring him. You have your uses. We're underway, and the ball out for a throw to Plymouth Argyle, who are attacking the Barn Park end to our right, which is where the fans are.
Afternoon, Leighton Mills, how are you doing?
Both managers or head coaches looking on. Tony Mowbray in his gilet, his hands in his pockets, as the ball is swept forward by the Spaniard Pleguezuelo to Whittaker.
That's mad, there's not one stream anywhere on my Fire Stick that features Sunderland. That is crazy.
This season in the Championship, Morgan Whittaker, a lot of assists from Plymouth Argyle point of view. A hat-trick against Norwich. He's got 7 goals this season, signed from Swansea in the
Tough
summer.
game, 1-2.
He's playing on the left this afternoon with O'Nien on the right, and away goes Huggins up to the halfway line, right in front of Tony Mowbray. Jack Clark switches the ball across to Patrick Roberts. A wonderful ball, dropped right on Roberts' left foot. He flicks it back behind him, a little bit short to Hume, but he manages to get it back to Roberts on halfway. Ekwa just knocks it back into the Sunderland half, to Luke O'Nien, who's looking for the run of Clark. Trying to cut across is Joe Edwards to cut him out in the corner. The flag is up. Clark offside, free kick to Plymouth Argyle.
He found a stream, thank God for that.
So early stages, we're in the opening minutes, second minute, 0-0. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle. And goalkeeper Michael Cooper, who'd had a long time out injured, actually, the 24-year-old. He's been back the last 5 or 6 matches.
Oh, good, thanks, brother. Likewise. Hope you're good yourself. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
Northern Ireland in the week, teammate of Dan Ballard and Trey Hume, and kept a clean sheet against Denmark. He's back into the squad, but it's not first choice at the moment. Here's Whittaker down the right-hand side in the Sunderland half, trying to get it to Edwards. Now trying to work it through to Cundle, Luke Cundle, who's on loan from Wolves. Played up front against Leeds last time out, but now they've got Ben Wayne up front, the New Zealand international who was in Greece this week. Clark on the left wing. Whittaker's gone with him. Clark still going into the penalty area. Flicks it back across behind everybody. Roberts gets on the end of it, tries to put it back into the edge of the 6-yard box, but Plymouth get the ball clear. Everybody stood off and it opened up for him. Should have been done, I think.
Great run by
Good start from Sunderland, this.
I mean, by doing better, I mean Sunderland should have done better, not Clark. He did everything asked of him. Here, down the right wing now, Hume taps it back to Roberts.
So nice to have the football back.
Him is Eckwer, back out to Roberts, wide. He's played it inside to Luke O'Nien.
Thank everybody for tuning in. 31 in a minute on the chat. I do appreciate all your support, guys.
On the left, just in the Plymouth half, looking for the run of Rusin. Cut out.
Hope you can hear the stream loud and clear.
Trying to get round Eckwer, who's got a foot to it. Job picks up the loose ball. Job taking this on, trying to thread it through. Block though. Clark tries to win it back, but it's going to be brought out on this right-hand side. And the Spaniard, Pleguezuelo, tried to play it down the line. It comes back to Edwards and back to Cooper in light, well, it's almost a lilac goalkeeping kit. Right up through the middle, down goes Ben Wayne. Referees come across to see what the issue with the New Zealander is. It's rolled onto his back at the moment in the centre circle. And the ball at Ballard's feet.
Luke O'Nien. He's come charging.
Rolled over the top of him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Seems to be okay. The referee will be a drop ball. James Bell collects the ball, drops it back. He will drop it back at the feet of Dan Ballard in the middle of the Sunderland half in the 5th minute, 0-0. Stanchion actually right in front of me, which is blocking the my view of the referee, but he does drop the ball at the feet of Dan Ballard. Plays it wide to the right, Luke O'Nien, and then down the line, Roberts, back it comes, and here with Plymouth. Interesting, Barley Mumbers started on the left for Plymouth. The ball comes right through to Ballard, and in fact, Mumba hasn't started on the... Trying to work out the Plymouth formation. He's played, Mumba's pushed forwards, and Luke is playing as a centre-back, isn't he?
They're playing wing-backs.
Yeah.
Well, you've got 3. Barley Mumba's playing like as a left wing-back.
That's right, so the 3 centre-backs,
Joe Edwards,
Pleguezuelo, Lewis Gibson and Kessler Hayden are the 3 centre-backs. Mumba's playing as a left wing-back rather than a right wing-back.
But the thing what surprises me, Nick, is that they're playing so high up.
Yeah. Ball played
basically up right on the halfway line.
Do you think we'll ever be able to pay a subscription where you can generally watch pick as you go? If you want to watch a game, you pay for it, no matter what time it is.
Roberts has threaded it through. Rusin's onside. He tries to get a shot away. It's blocked by Gibson. Comes back down to be crossed by Dan Neal from the right. Headed out by Plymouth.
But as you say, imagine the thousands of Sunderland fans who can't watch the match. They can't get to the games, and they would love to watch a stream of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. The money would pile in.
Half chances in the penalty area for Sunderland in these opening minutes. Rusin, though, his shot blocked. Here's Job on the left, trying to get the ball wide to Clark. Clark now just pushing it on to Job, almost to the goal line. Pulls it back here. Huggins at the corner of the penalty area.
Good play by Sunderland this mind.
And it's Hume, urged to shoot, pushes it on to Roberts, dinks it across here. Rusin's header just past the left post.
He's got to head the ball.
He sort of pulled away from it. Go and attack it.
Yeah.
He's trying to glance it in.
So, three half chances.
And that's what we were talking about earlier on, Nick. You know, when we're on top, dominating games, creating opportunities, you've got to take them, especially when you're away from home.
Gary Bennett's sounding frustrated already.
Yes. So 0-0.
Saying that when Sunderland are on top, we've got to put these chances away.
7th minute of the game, kick from Cooper wide, bounces out in front of
He's not wrong at all. He reckons we should be at least 2-0 up already.
You look at Rusin now, and maybe, you know, the first opportunity which he had earlier on, he should have swung his right foot. He's just had a header there which he should have connected with.
Huggins in his throw. Job, little flick over the shoulder of Houghton, comes back to Job on his chest, comes back then to Pleguezuelo, and he gets the ball away down this right hand side for Plymouth, the left for Ballard, pushing it up towards Rusin, is pulled down. The culprit is the Spaniard, Pleguezuelo, 26-year-old, signed from FC 20 in the summer. Quick free kick from Sunderland, back into the centre circle.
Yeah, that's right. Blackburn have taken the lead against Stoke. I fancy Stoke to come back from that, though.
Roll around. Edwards foul. Another foul, Pleguezuelo on Job.
Hey, Ant, do you use vidIQ on your channel? And if you do, is it worth it?
Here to where the foul by Pleguezuelo was.
Do you pay a subscription towards it?
Back to Huggins, back into the middle to Ballard.
Just wondering if there's any difference.
9 minutes. Ben Wales to close him down. Out wide, Roberts looking for a great run from Rusin, but it's spun through past him to Michael Cooper, the keeper. Been here from a young lad.
It's a bright start from Sunderland. I'll give him that.
As the ball comes out to the Spaniard, Pleguezuelo. He tries to get it down to Morgan Whittaker, but comes out off Huggins for a throw to Plymouth. Just in front of.
Well, minus temperatures across the country. Can't Sunderland warm the fans up today?
Into Whittaker, just inside the Plymouth half, back to Lewis Gibson, who began his career with Newcastle but signed from Everton this summer. And Gibson stands with it in the middle of the Plymouth half, plays it
While beating the Whalen wall.
Side here to Pleguezuelo, and he's looking for Wayne over the top, who got a foot on it, the toe really, but it took it straight through to Patterson in yellow, away to our right.
45 people on the channel. If you can click the thumbs up, thank you. If there's anybody new, just click the subscribe button. Thanks to help support the channel. Help this channel grow.
Back to Equa under pressure, gives the ball away to Whittaker. Huggins wins it back, but as referee gives a free kick. He watched for an advantage from Plymouth's point of view, then pulls it back, foul by Huggins.
Yeah, you just got to be careful there, Sunderland.
This is 25 yards out easily on the right of central midfield. And Huggins can have no complaint.
Very, very loud Plymouth fans at the minute.
I think Whittaker fancies this one, doesn't he?
Loud Plymouth supporters at the moment. What is their ground holding?
Houghton, isn't it? And it's going to be left foot Whittaker, I think. There's left foot.
Yeah, 18,000.
Patterson just organising his defence at the moment. Strolls back away from the near post. And three of them over the ball for Plymouth, but as you suggest, I think Whittaker is the one that probably is the most likeliest to fancy his chances. Two in the Sunderland wall.
Dazers,
biggest on the pitch.
brilliant, mate.
Roberts.
Thank you very much.
And,
Thank you.
It's tapped by Whittaker, back to Whittaker from, well, Azaz. It didn't really work. And Sunderland looking to break, but there's a foul on Dan Neil.
That's got to be a yellow card.
Is it a yellow card? I don't think the referee's going to give a yellow card here.
Free kick taken, played over the top, straight back to Michael Cooper, the Plymouth keeper.
He hasn't.
Out to Pleguezuelo, inside to his left to Gibson, back to Pleguezuelo, and Pleguezuelo on the right here, long up through, looking for Wayne. Ballard's headed it down, gets it back from O'Nien.
It's certainly a fast-tempoed game.
Job on the halfway line on the left, wide here to Clark. on the touchline, squeezes it through to Huggins. It slips slightly, but turns and gets a lovely ball out to Job on the left-hand side, but it's whipped off his feet by Pleguezello.
That's a dive from Sunderland. Away, man, just play the ball, will you, Job?
For a goal kick.
Going for a foul already, man.
But good from Huggins initially. Ball back then with Cooper. The centre-backs either side of him. Pushed to Gibson on the left in the penalty area. Back across to Pleguezello. He plays it wide out for a throw to Sunderland. Huggins will take this a couple of yards down from Tony Mowbray. Back to Huggins from Job. Back again to Equa. 0-0 in the 13th minute. Here's Ballard.
As the drums are banging.
O'Nien
Plymouth.
wide again to Roberts. Down the touchline to Hume. Hume taking this on. Gibson's come across to cut him out. It's played into the edge of the penalty area. Pleguezello gets it clear. Drops to Dan Neal. Roberts trying to get the ball off Barley Mumba. Eventually comes up to Ben Wayne in the centre circle. Then
There certainly is, and that's the one that you mentioned before, Blackburn. That's the only goal scored in the Championship at the minute.
To Houghton, forwards again, then to Azaz. And Finn Azaz gets the ball out to Whittaker on the right wing, halfway inside the Sunderland half. Huggins backtracking, Whittaker still going, trying to find Azaz. And then...
What were you saying there, Jacob, lad?
Foul by Mumba.
Jesus, thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Thanks a lot, pal.
To Sunderland on the right of the Sunderland penalty area. Hume just got... I mean, in fairness, it's the slightest of touches from Mumba, but it just put Hume off balance, and he went down. Back up on his feet now. So 0-0 in the 14th minute.
We just look a bit disjointed, Sunderland. Our attacking form at the moment, there just seems to be a little bit sort of mishmashy.
You hear the travelling fans away to our right, all in good voice, even after what has probably been a 6-7 hour journey down this morning for most of them. Ball headed on in the air.
I've cleaned me teeth. What you talking about?
Gibson up to the halfway line for Plymouth, but it drops for Equa. Showed a little bit too much of it in the middle, and Cundle able to play it.
Hey, what's his views like taking the mickey about how much I'm eating on Twitter? The type of food.
Under pressure from Dan Neal. Back to Cooper, closed down.
Chickens with bloody tentacles hanging out of it.
Kick wide down the right. Rusin wearing gloves this afternoon. It's not the warmest of afternoons. But
No,
it's not the.
No, we've had a bit of frost.
It's not the coldest, is there? Yeah, we had some frost.
And a pig in a bath. What's that about?
Here's Edwards on the right.
They're doing it wrong. I'll have...
Pleguezello and back
He
to
does.
the goalkeeper. Out to Gibson.
I'll
On down the left.
I will do a video later. I'll do a video later of me food.
He's looking to get it away on that left wing.
I'll show you how to prepare me food.
Kessler Hayden. O'Nien's knocked down on the touchline. Free kick to Sunderland. 3 loanees in this starting 11. Kane, Kessler Hayden on loan from Villa, as is Finn Azaz and Luke Cundle, who's on loan from Wolves.
The game's got a little bit sort of scrappy at the minute. There's not much pattern and flow to it.
Back to Luke O'Nien. And O'Nien out to Neal, wide back to Luke O'Nien. Forward to Equa. Equa back to O'Nien, and he's going to come between Wayne and Azaz. Nearly got caught out, but he managed to get through, gets the ball to Neal. Calling for it, Clark on the left. Neal's looking for him and finds him. Halfway inside the Plymouth half. Huggins on the overlap. Clark trying to take it onto his right, and he gets a shot away. It took a deflection, surely. Corner.
Still, that Blackburn goal is the only goal in the Championship.
Over the bar from Clark's shot. First corner of the game comes in the 17th minute.
And we've got an excited Plymouth front in front of us.
Yeah, he's living the game.
Yeah.
Here's Roberts, swings the ball in from the right. Ballard looking for it, punched away by Cooper. Bounces down towards the corner. There's a battle for it there. It's turned away by Plymouth, straight to Job. And Job now trying to find a way into Rusin. Back to Ekwa on the left and back again to Huggins. Into the centre circle, Hume. Forwards to Clark on the right of midfield.
Ooh.
Rusin, who took his eye off it
First
slightly.
real shot on goal. Keeper tips it out with the bar.
Rusin completely messed up his control.
He could have had a hat-trick.
And it came back off him to O'Nien. And
it's a great pick out by Jack Clark. But he's miscontrolled it.
He did. I think he took his eye off.
Russian went to chest it and it went under his legs.
For Sunderland from the left. Clark will take this back short to Roberts. They've been listening
it league
to
game?
Corners from Luke Williams. Here's Clark on the left of the penalty area, back behind him to Neil. Curls it well. It's a poor ball in, easily cleared from the penalty spot, and then onto the head of Hume. Back in it goes. Comes out again to Neil in midfield. Whittaker tries to push him in the back. Neil still has it. Rolls it here to Roberts. Into the penalty area on the right. Tries to get the ball across. It's blocked by Kessler Hayden.
Roberts is struggling to get past his men at the moment. Like, he's trying to do what Clark does and beating his man, and he just can't get past his first man at the minute.
And it runs out for a throw to Sunderland in their own half. Halfway inside the Sunderland half.
He got applauded for that.
Did he? He's got up and gone.
No point of a corner, is it, if you're just going to take it short all the time?
So, now 0-0, 18th minute, Patterson to Ballard, bringing this out under pressure from Ben Waine, gets it to Clark, gives it away to Gibson, up to Whittaker on the right. Job trying to get the ball off.
Yeah, it was.
Challenged by Rusin, which is deemed a foul.
I think it was O'Nien who shot there.
On Pleguezuelo, right in front of Tony Mowbray, quickly taking the free kick. Gibson has it. Back to Michael Cooper.
Rusin.
And closed down by Job. Lifts it over.
Rusin went to. It was, yeah. Rusin went to chest it down and he miscontrolled it and then fell as a dummy. He went under his legs.
It's won by Huggins. And now Clark taking it into the box, but his pass inside, looking for Dan Neil or Roberts, was cleared by Gibson, and the ball eventually out for a throw. Tony Mowbray felt it was a foul on Luke O'Nien, pleads for the fourth official, but a throw it is for.
It's got a Division 1 feel to it.
33 years old now. The midfielder.
League 1 feel. It's got like sort of, well, we are sort of playing a team that just came up from League 1.
Trying to find Whittaker. Job all over him. Whittaker just passes it across now to.
It's very scrappy.
On the left wing. Barley Mumba taking this on. 22 years old now. Finds Azaz in the middle. He's under pressure.
Both teams just can't keep hold of the ball for long at the moment. They can't really seem to get hold of the game.
And Ekwa stabs the ball away as they try to work it forwards, Plymouth. On halfway, Kundle back to Pleguezuelo, inside to Gibson. And Gibson out to Kessler Hayden on the left. Houghton, this is still just inside the Plymouth half. Back then to Lewis Gibson. And across here to Pleguezuelo, up to the 20-minute mark, 0-0. Cooper out through the middle now to Houghton, up through the centre circle. Ekwa tries to get a touch to it. It's passed by Plymouth to Jack Clark. Clark looking for Roberts on the right-hand side. Mumba comes up shoulder to shoulder down the touchline. Roberts, was he pushed down? The referee thinks not. And it's a goal kick. And your favourite fan stands up and applauds the decision. I can feel you're bonding, you two.
Oh, yes.
Not that he's looked you in the eye yet. Oh. I'll be looking forward to that moment. As the ball played out by Plymouth up to the halfway line. Ballard back inside to O'Nien, then to Trey Hume in the middle. Closed down by Mumba. Back to Luke O'Nien. Lays it off to Hume. Hume back to Patterson. Patterson passing it out to Ballard on this left-hand side. We're pretty much up towards the halfway mark in the first half. 0-0 live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Down the right wing, a chase for Roberts, which he won't succeed.
So what's your guys' thoughts of 21 minutes gone then? Quarter of the way through of the match.
Sunderland in their red and white stripes this afternoon.
Well, nearly quarter of the way through.
Low cloud cover on this chilly day. But it's a dry day.
Remember the days when goalkeepers used to wear green jerseys?
Well, they did, didn't they? Yeah. They all wore green jerseys.
Didn't they just?
So here it comes back to Patterson in his yellow jersey. Passing it out to Luke O'Nien. Leaves it for Ekwa. Ekwa back to O'Nien, and O'Nien down the touchline to Roberts halfway. Back it comes to Luke O'Nien wide. Forwards to Hume.
Yeah, I mean...
inside to Ekwa. Ekwa swings it across here to Huggins on the left-hand side, and Huggins, Whittaker in front of him, he's looking to get it over the top.
Offside, isn't he? He's offside.
Rushen is offside. And a free kick to Plymouth.
We could be playing better, but I'm pleased at the minute. Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. Absolutely.
Sean Massey Ellis is the assistant on the far side.
That's right.
It's Newcastle 1, Chelsea 1 in the Premier League. 23 minutes played here. Plymouth 0, Sunderland 0. Ball back with Gibson. Plays it into the middle to Pleguizelo, and up through the middle, Edwards. Looking to get it to, well, eventually Cundle. Whittaker on the right-hand side. He cuts back inside.
Oh, fucking hell, Plymouth have scored, for fuck's sake. Here we go.
Yards out.
Here we go.
Just let go with his left foot. And it sailed beyond Patterson.
Yeah, but Nick, you know, what do you put it down? Yeah, it's a great finish by, it's poor defending. You know where he wants to go. He wants to go on his left foot.
Cuts inside on his left.
Cuts inside. Show him down the line.
Oh, that's bad defending, man.
You can see where he wants to go.
Yeah.
He cuts inside. You got it.
No good having all this possession if we can't do jack sugar with it.
Turned his back to it, and it sailed past Patterson in the bottom corner. Great shot. So Morgan Whittaker with his 8th of the season.
Yeah, I pay a subscription to the Sunderland AFC audio commentary, LA, mate.
Plymouth in the
What's your opinion on the game? Well, it was going well until now.
Yeah, and again, you look at it, yeah, okay, he's showing him inside, that's on his strongest foot. But even then, when he goes inside, somebody's got to confront him. Somebody's got to get closer to close that shot down. Nobody has, but also, you've got to look at, Nick, that's how you strike a ball.
Oh, lovely, beautifully struck.
It was a cracking goal by Plymouth, that mind.
Good chances.
Yes.
Gary Bennett's going crackers on the commentary.
We can be critical.
He's not happy.
But when we create them chances, we've got to be ruthless, and we're not.
Sunderland have had 2-3 half chances.
That's their first opportunity. Well, so-called made opportunities by themselves. It's ended up in the back of the net.
It is. That's their first opportunity, and it's ended up in the back of the net.
Offers for Plymouth earlier on, and Whittaker has scored.
And there's my cue to go to the offie.
Have a advantage here.
It's going to be a booking, that's for sure.
Huggins trying to get away from.
Now I think you'll see Plymouth park the bus.
Still lies on the pitch on the far side, just inside the Plymouth half.
And that's a terrible cross. Keeper's just straight into the keeper's hands.
Catches it.
It's a booking.
Hume is still lying on the floor. He's going to get treatment. There's a yellow card.
Yeah.
Shown by the referee. Was that to Cundle? Well, I think it's Luke Cundle. He caught. Cundle is the player who's booked. That challenge on Hume. So Plymouth Argyle lead by a goal to 0.
And no matter which way you want.
Well, the quality we seem to have up front, the likes of Job and, you know, we should be ripping them a new backside, like, but they're just the dead as doornails up front.
You know, it's a great strike, but that's strong his foot.
Terrible.
He wants to go in on his left foot.
Well, Whittaker
Going
then
down the line.
8 goals this season. It's given Plymouth the lead. Hume is back on his feet on the far side, on halfway. Plymouth fans are happy. Your mate's happy.
Yeah. Hopefully for not too long.
Plenty of time to get back in the game. At Sunderland now, got to find 2 goals from somewhere to win it. They're in the 27th minute, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Referee comes back, drop ball for the Plymouth keeper Michael Cooper. And Cooper passes it to his right.
Get me Ender on quick to give us a bit of aggression, says Brian.
Joe Edwards.
Get me Ender on.
Back to Lewis Gibson. And Gibson now forwards down the left to Kessler Hayden. And he just plays it back to Gibson. Cross here to Bleguizelo. Forwards to Cundle on this right-hand side. On halfway. Back to Gibson. Gibson.
Would you say it would be alarm bells if we lose today? Because we're like,
Roberts goes
no.
to close him down. He gets it through the middle to Cundle. Cundle on the left of midfield. Job in front of him. Squares it to Edwards. Off for Ekwa. It falls for Azaz. It's finally turned away by Job. Clark trying to take this out on the left-hand side. And eventually Whittaker gets the ball off him. Inside to Azaz. And Azaz now. Whittaker's made a run down the right to the penalty area. Into the penalty area. Ballard makes the block. It goes behind for a corner.
On social media, it's like, how many times do we dominate the opening 20 minutes and always find ourselves 1-0 down?
With that goal, it's lifted Plymouth.
Yeah. Whittaker's very much
Fear not one of our 4 strikers will start scoring any year now.
They're trying where they can to work it to Morgan Whittaker. Houghton's going to take the corner on the right here.
Good goal, but we play the same football. Now comes off it. Wing play. Tried some high through balls, but nowhere. Try a different tactic going forward. At the moment, we're just a bit of a one-track pony. Going down the right, going down the left, trying to get past our man. We can't. Get a terrible cross straight to the keeper. And that just seems to be happening at the minute. Why don't we have a go passing? Maybe he's gone through the middle of them. This is where we could do the likes of Pritchard. He was good at that.
Back into Kessler Hayden and back to the goalkeeper. Mumba jogging back across to the left-hand side.
It is Andrew.
Is Bleguizelo finds.
This has got Plymouth's tails up this, like they're fired up, and rightly sure they should be.
All over him. He's trying to come past Azaz now down into the corner, and he gets the ball into the box, but it'll be a Plymouth clearance, and it eventually drops to Clark. Couldn't quite control it on his right foot. It spins off out for a throw to
Swansea now 2-0 up against Hull.
Quickly through the middle goes Azaz, but Ballard's there to whip it off his feet. Wayne's gone with him. Ballard's still going. He's eventually gone down. He's still going though. He's picked up, got up, finds that Roberts, trying to pull it back for Rusin, and the ball bobbles out behind for a corner.
Excellent run by Ballard.
That's all down to Ballard.
Fantastic run.
He
does that well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know, breaking the lines.
Would you be happy with a point then?
It's interesting watching the replay of Ben Wayne. I'll come back to that in a moment because the ball's played short to
there we go again. Another sorry to interrupt.
He crosses, caught by Cooper.
The crosses are just too high, too slow, too easy for the keeper to get hold of. Far too many of them crosses at the minute. They ain't good enough.
Was on his way with the ball again. This Ninja Plymouth player in the 6-yard box.
Yeah.
Referees come back.
Would you make any changes at half-time if this was the same scoreline at half-time?
Who is it? Is it Houghton? Trying to see. He's okay. He's up on his feet. He's walking out. We're in the 31st minute. Plymouth Argyle 1, Sunderland 0. Goal from Morgan Whittaker in the 25th. Sailed in from 25 yards on the right.
Absolutely not happy with the points as MQ. I know.
Bleguizelo inside to Cundle. Leaves it for Gibson. And he plays it up onto the halfway line. A slip by Dan Neal allows Azaz some time. Cundall out to Whittaker. Whittaker corner of the penalty area. Huggins goes to make the challenge.
That's better.
Millwall 0, Coventry City 1, Norwich 1, QPR 0.
And again, Whittaker's the target for Plymouth.
Hello Frankie, how are you doing?
Jogging down to take the corner again, Jordan Houghton. A reminder, we've got a home game Wednesday night, Sunderland against Huddersfield Town. Short corner,
somebody else out with him.
Mumba. And again, Mumba trying to weave his way past Huggins, and he's played it back out to Azaz. Azaz tries to cross, it comes up off the foot of Dan Neal. Azaz heads it out. Throw to Sunderland on the left, 32nd minute. As Ekwa gets it forwards to Huggins. It's tight on the touchline, green shirts all around him. Plymouth win it back, they find the gap for Azaz. He's played it inside to Wayne, but Job's got in front of the New Zealander. Whittaker's gone wading in, plays the ball eventually to Azaz, and Azaz plays it to Houghton, puts it low into Ballard to clear. Back out to Houghton. Houghton putting it back in again.
It's all Plymouth
Azaz
at the minute.
Turning on it, and it's taken a deflection behind for another corner.
There's times when you've got to put your foot through the ball. You know, Bellingham, he's won the ball, but we're still trying to play out from, you know, right on the edge of the 18-yard box, shift the ball.
Houghton with a corner on the right, Mumba's across here as well, but he's a bit further back this time from the previous couple of corners. This, I think, is going to be swung in by Houghton. It is. Up go the heads, up goes Wayne.
Sunderland fans behind the goal just looking a bit subdued at the moment. Even the body language from the Sunderland players, like the shoulders are down. They're like, doesn't seem to be that alertness, that hunger there at the minute.
Here at home park, Luke O'Nien has the ball at his feet inside the Sunderland penalty area.
I don't rate Job, to be quite honest with you. The last few games he's playing, he's like non-existent. What does he actually do?
Luke O'Nien. Back again to Anthony Patterson. Ballard. Back to Patterson. Patterson almost on the penalty spot, then a bit further
he goes
forward,
missing too many
pushing
games.
It out into midfield, up towards Huggins. He's immediately under pressure, but he sidesteps two challenges and gets the ball out to Neal. Forwards to Clark. He's got Edwards on his shoulder. Clark on the halfway line, cutting across through the centre circle, leaving it now for O'Nien. And O'Nien, he's going to tap it out to Roberts wide, and Roberts back inside to Ekwa. Behind him, O'Nien. O'Nien just inside the Sunderland half, through to Dan Neal.
Don't know if anybody looks likely getting another goal. It's Plymouth.
It's threaded through to Wayne here, into the penalty area on the right. Ballard comes to cut him out, gets in front of him, and a great clearance by Ballard.
Great defending. I'll tell you what, excellent. Talking about staying on your feet.
Way, yeah. Read that all the way, got the right side of Wayne.
How many times, referee? You've got to get a grip of it.
Edwards squares up to Jack Clark with a few words. The free kick taken by Sunderland. Ekwa sprays it out to the right, looking for Roberts, headed out by Kessler Hayden. Throw to Sunderland, 10 yards from the corner to Dan Neal, back to Roberts. He plays it behind him.
That is so like going in with guns blazing, isn't it?
On the touchline, Roberts back to Luke O'Nien. Into the centre circle here now, Ballard. And Ballard forwards through the middle, Job. Job to his right, Ekwa just to the right of the centre circle. Ekwa back to Job in the middle of the Plymouth half, out wide left to Clark on the touchline. Clark dribbling here at the penalty area, then playing it back to Ekwa onto his left.
If I were manager, I would be saying, if you don't perform, you don't get a game. It's as simple as that. I don't know, yeah, who would you say is not performing that, Kenny? Would you say? I know I've mentioned Job and all that, but I mean, Russian's not doing much.
Left-hand side. Michael Cooper, his arms high in the air on the goal line. And O'Nien is up there, Rusin's in there, swept in by Clark. Oh, it drops to Ballard, is back to goal. Ekwa trying to dig it out. No, it just bobbles off Ekwa's foot into the hands of Cooper. And a counter-attack swiftly by Plymouth Argyle. Whittaker over the halfway line, looking for Kessler Hayden, but across went Hume.
Yeah. Come into the chat and say, hello, how are you doing, guys? May the best team win. You're gonna get beat.
And a throw to Plymouth. Very good tackle from Niall Huggins. Quick throw from Kessler Hayden. Back it comes to Gibson. Now to
at the moment, she's right though. Can't argue with her at the moment.
The centre circle leaves it for Cundall, who plays it into the middle again to Gibson. 37th minute, and then out to Kessler Hayden. Hayden back to Cooper, the keeper, and he plays it to Pleguezuelo. Longer ball up, looking for Ben Wayne. Ballard.
As a team, we are doing nothing. We do need to be better. Yeah, that's a good point there, Anthony. I mean, let's try and get a few shots on the goal.
Huggins back to O'Nien. He swings the ball down the left. Pleguezuelo gets above Job onto Azaz, and Cundall's trying to get it through the middle to Edwards. Eventually, it's played out by Ballard. Plymouth appeal for a free kick. They don't get it. Job is on the break. Job to Clark. Clark inside the penalty area, playing it into the middle. It sweeps through to Roberts. Low shot straight at Cooper.
And Roberts has just had a shot at the goalkeeper. That was more like a pass back.
You know, great break. The finish.
Yeah. Now Huggins finds Neil. Roberts at the edge of the area. Neil's overlapping. In comes Neil to the penalty box. Tried to square it for Rusin. Taken out for a throw. On the far side, on the right.
He just did not connect with that Roberts at all.
In the 38th minute. Hume. He's got Roberts and
So
Neil.
far, it's going to be a long journey back for those Sunderland fans. Brian says I would take Russian and Job off second half and bring on Mayenda and Barr.
Breaks it up to Hume.
Yeah. Why would we wait till the second half?
Neil down this right-hand side. Neil back behind into Ekwa.
Is 40 minutes enough of a warning?
Job. Now back across to Hume. Quick ball right through the penalty area and behind for a goal kick. Not happening at the minute. Not happening for Sunderland, really. 39th minute. 1-0 to...
Is that what we were saying yesterday? The fact, like Alex Neil, when he was manager, he changed the team per match. Yeah. And then Tony Mowbray is stubborn, isn't he?
Goal kick from the centre of his 6-yard line. It goes through the middle, slightly to the right. Ballard heads it away. Drops to Edwards. No. He's trying to find Whittaker. O'Nien heads it back behind him, and Hume has to head it back to Patterson, who is being closed down by Ben Wayne. The 22-year-old blonde New Zealand forward. It's rolled out to O'Nien, down the line to Roberts, back to Luke O'Nien on the right side of his penalty area, and back to Patterson, the corner of his 6-yard box. He kicks over the halfway line this time, over the head of Hume, back to Lewis Gibson, and the Durham-born defender gets it through.
Oh, for God's sake!
Onto his right foot.
2-0. This is crap, like. This is awful, this. This is awful.
Doubles Plymouth's lead.
It's just not good enough, I'm afraid. Not good enough.
Sunderland now have it all to do.
They have indeed. And what's the two difference between the sides? Clinical finishing.
Well, I did say in the predictions. Didn't I? So we struggle against the teams like this.
2-0.
That's clinical finishing, Nick.
Yeah, it was.
You know,
opened up from Luke O'Nien, couldn't get a foot on it.
Finish. Striking the ball.
So, home park now bouncing. And not good for Sunderland, conceding just 5 minutes from half-time. So a lot for Tony Mowbray to address at half-time. can't concede another. Clark trying to find an opening. His cross put behind by Barley Mumba.
But like, you know, we can talk about the first half, Nick. You know, Sunderland have been a better team in the first half.
Oh, dear.
Plymouth had a better team finishing. They've been clinical.
Yes. Short corner again on the left-hand side. Roberts back to Clark on the left here. Flags up, offside. Last win here, last defeat here for Sunderland.
Yeah, more social media stuff. We look disjointed and not interested. Not good enough for Mowbray, this. It's as simple as that. If we want in top 6, we should be getting something from games like this. But so should Leeds against Rotherham, you could argue, but they've got a point.
As we approach half-time.
But you can see him getting back into the game, Nick. But
they get a goal, they need to get one soon.
They need to improve in front of goal.
Something needs to happen in front of goal for Sunderland. It's not at the moment. They're 2-0 down. We're 3 minutes from half-time, plus whatever is added on. Here's Jobe on the left. Back to Ballard. And back to Patterson. Out to Luke O'Nien. And out wide again to
if anything else, I think if any team
tried to get it forwards,
Plymouth can get another couple of goals, because when they get forward, they do what we aren't doing, find that space, shoot, and it's in the back of the net.
You know, playing lovely football, you need an end product, and we haven't got it at the present moment, especially in this game.
Here's Rusin trying to close down Cooper. Cooper gets the ball away, but Rusin did enough to.
How much will Ross Stewart cost in January asking for a friend?
Sunderland on the left wing. Huggins will take this halfway inside the Plymouth half. Back to Clark. And Clark back to Ballard. Ballard across to Luke O'Nien. Just in his half.
We need to get Jell a bit better, get the space to receive the ball. I know.
Luke O'Nien.
Good test for Sunderland.
It's a real test their character.
Yeah.
Away from home, 2-0 down. They need to get a goal back. They need to get themselves back in the game.
It's almost like the lads have been out on the lash the night before. They just look lethargic and knackered, like.
Here's Kessler Hayden back to Gibson. Gibson sweeps it up to the halfway line. It's headed on by Wayne, but straight to Ballard. Ballard now to Jobe through the middle. Chased by Cundall. Gets it out wide to Clark on the left-hand side. Clark dribbling down the left of the penalty. Edwards trying to get the better of him. Pulled back by Clark. And it's Jobe who ran onto it. And it's gone behind. I think he was just put off Jobe. So ball back with Cooper for a goal kick.
Said a number of occasions now, Rushin is a good footballer, but not a forward in a million years, and not that clinical finish either we're looking for. Missed 3 or 4 chances already. Once again, we're missing a recognised striker.
I suspect there'll be changes at the start of the second half. I think rather than wait for an hour, I think the changes will probably be sooner rather than later.
Where will the changes be?
Pritchard maybe. I think I'm just thinking up front. I mean, they need something more. I mean, Pritchard maybe. I think Jobe's done all right. It's just round and about him, isn't it? Here's Rusin. He's given the ball away to Whittaker.
I think Rusin might come off.
I think Aushish could come on.
Mayenda.
2 minutes. Mayenda, yeah, Mayenda. Good shout. Here's Neil. We're into those 2 minutes. And Plymouth lead 2-0. Huggins trying to find Neil through the middle. Short pass to his left to Jobe. Jobe into the centre to Equa.
Well, the league table's just clicked and we've leaped up one place. I don't know what's happening here.
Roberts putting it on his left. Tries to
yeah, that's probably just a delay thing.
Hayden. It's done a break for Azaz. He's played it now to Whittaker. Back behind him to Edwards. And it's swept up. It's Ballard who gets it in front of Ben Wayne and plays it back to Patterson. We've got just over a minute left of the first half.
I just think they're suffering from jet lag.
Hume to Equa at the edge of the centre circle. Ballard over the
Is it too early to say to write this game off?
And trying to play it. Well, Rusin goes down.
Sunderland just need that one goal.
At the referee, but gets nothing from him. And the ball is back with Cooper, who's allowing Rusin to run all the way almost to the goal line, and then Cooper just picks it up in the corner of the penalty area on the goal line, and Rusin has to stroll away. We've got 30 seconds or so left at the...
If they get a third, it's game over though, and
a rueful looking Tony
there's no coming
Mowbray,
back from that.
Which much to chew over at half time. As Eckwood tries to head it forwards. Edwards gets a forehead to it ahead of Jack
Getting beat
Clark.
off a good footballing team, we have not done much wrong. Just keep going. It's not over yet. Tough game to get anything from now, though.
Huggins with a throw on halfway, on the left, seconds left, as Ballard gets the ball inside to O'Nien and into the centre circle. This will be half time. Plymouth are going to go in at the break, leading 2-0. Fair to say, I think they've had two chances and scored them both.
Yeah, definitely so. And again, when you look at the opportunities, great strike by
Oh,
but if you allow, give him that space, allow for him to cut inside onto his strongest foot, and nobody confronts him to try to stop the shot. It's a great strike. But then you look at the opportunities which Sunderland have had. You know, and a prime example is the one where it's gone out to.
Well, today it would just look like an average
Patrick Roberts,
mid-table bottom half of the Championship side.
Shot into his hand. They have the same at their end as us. He cuts in, powerful, straightforward strike into the corner, goal. They've been clinical. We haven't.
In both instances, Wayne and Azaz, the two players very much on
Leighton
the
Baines.
foot, and both
Leighton Mills just says, jet lag, what are you on about? Sounds like they've all bloody cycled down.
Accelerating inside, got the momentum behind him, then struck it beautifully with his left foot.
And you know, we're not just picking out Roberts, but also you look at Rosslyn. He's had two great chances. One, he should have swung his foot, didn't get a clean strike on the ball, and the next one was his header. You've got to head the ball.
Yeah. I mean, Clark has got the ball inside the area.
It's not exactly pushing for top 6 form though, this, is it?
Isn't it? It's just all a bit that final ball. How many times this season we've always talked about the final ball? I mean, that's the frustrating aspect of
they've just scored, yeah.
I mean, they can play some really nice football, but bottom line is they haven't got anybody in the penalty area that just is, as you said, clinical, just ruthless.
Nick, we've been saying this all season. They're searching for that striker or somebody who can get on the end of things and put the ball in the back of the net. You know, it's okay between the two 18-yard box, and we look.
Subs at half-time, says Richard. I think, crikey, we are bleeding for a decent striker. You know, well, I mean, how many times have the board know this? We've got another transfer window coming up in January. I was just going to do the usual thing and get a 9-year-old kid from a French side and say that'll do. Put him in the under 21s. I don't know.
I'd like you to come on.
I think you'll just leave it for the time being. I think you'll give him an opportunity for the first 10-15 minutes and just say, listen, in that 18-yard box, let's get on the end of things. Let's be ruthless. Don't be nice, because I think that's what we are. Let's put your
ready for some more social medias?
I still think that we can get back into the game. 2-0 is as we know, is a funny result. Look, it's the next goal. Who gets the next goal?
Fairly quickly then.
Like Kieran has said, danced past 09 like he's a 2-year-old. Far too easy. Change the system and bring Pritchard on. We need some bite in the middle of the park. Going down the wings is just too predictable and it's not working. Dan Neil and Ecuador done nothing in the game. Heads are down, seems not to play in the middle, fell asleep. And finally, Paul Campbell says, said on a number of occasions now, Rushin is a good footballer, but not a forward in a million years. He's not clinical finisher we are looking for. He's missed 3 or 4 chances already, and this has been a few games now.
Is your must-have pass to over 400 live TV channels, packed with facts you can't help talking about. And it also funds everything you love from the BBC, including live radio, like this.
Total Sport Northeast.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
It's not going all that well. Newcastle United won, Chelsea won at half-time. Alexander Isak with the opening goal, Raheem Sterling with the equaliser, but Sunderland 2-0 down at Plymouth. Morgan Whittaker and Finn Azaz with Plymouth's 2 goals. We will be back with our respective commentary teams very shortly for full coverage of the second halves in the North East and in the South.
What would you like to see Tony Mowbray do at half-time?
We'll start with the early kickoff because it finished earlier on. Manchester City won, Liverpool won. Erling Haaland midway through the first half for Manchester City, but Trent Alexander-Arnold equalising with 10 minutes to go for Liverpool. So Manchester City's winning home run is over. Manchester City won, Liverpool won. In the 3 o'clock kickoffs then, it's goalless between Burnley and West Ham and between Luton and Crystal Palace. But Brighton now lead 2-1 at Nottingham Forest, despite Forest taking the lead after just 3 minutes through Anthony Elanga. Evan Ferguson equalised, and then João Pedro on the stroke of half-time, making it 2-1 to Brighton away from home. And Bournemouth are leading away from home as well. 2-0 at Bramall Lane against Sheffield United. Marcus Tavernier, the former Newcastle youngster, with the first one. Justin Kluivert, son of former Dutch striker Patrick, with Bournemouth's second goal. So they lead 2-0 at Sheffield United. The 5:30 kickoff is Brentford against Arsenal.
Total Sport Northeast.
On the station with Newcastle and Sunderland commentary exclusively live.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Into the Championship, and it livened up a bit in the last few minutes because before that there hadn't been all that many goals. Birmingham City won, Sheffield Wednesday won, and both of those came in first half injury time. George Byers first for Sheffield Wednesday, and then Juninho Bacuna equalising for Birmingham. So it's Birmingham 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Middlesbrough 2-0 down at Bristol City. Taylor Gardner-Hickman and then a Tommy Conway penalty, both of those in the last 8 minutes of the first half. It is Southampton leading 1-0 at Huddersfield. Adam Armstrong, former Newcastle striker, on the very stroke of half-time as well. Goalless between Leicester City and Watford. Coventry though lead 1-0 at Millwall. Matt Godden after half an hour. Norwich City 1-0 up on Queen's Park Rangers. Rijo Hwang after 21 minutes. Preston ends Cardiff is goalless, but Blackburn lead 1-0 at Stoke. That was the first goal of the afternoon in the Championship. Scott Wharton after 4 minutes. And Swansea 2-0 up against Hull City. Jamie Patterson and Jerry Yates in the space of 6 minutes in the middle of that first half. There's a 5:30 kickoff in the Championship as well. It's West Bromwich Albion against Ipswich Town.
Total Sport Northeast.
The Newcastle and Sunderland AFC podcast.
Oh, Bristol City are 2-0 up against Middlesbrough.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Too keen to give you the League One score. Let's go into League One then. Bolton lead Exeter by 2-0. Iredale and Adebayejo with those goals. Carlisle under new ownership at home to Charlton Athletic is goalless at half-time. Cheltenham lead Oxford United by 1-0. But
I think I predicted Middlesbrough winning as well.
Jamie Reid has given Stevenage a 1-0 half-time lead away at Fleetwood. Leighton Orient are 1-0 up on Wigan.
How did we beat Southampton 5-0, I know?
Mandrew penalty after just 5 minutes. Northampton and Cambridge United are drawing 0-0. Peterborough though are 2-0 up on Burton Albion at home at half-time. And away from home, Blackpool lead Portsmouth by 1-0. Max Mata has given Shrewsbury a 1-0 lead over Port Vale, although they're actually in the 7th minute of injury time at the end of the first half. That one hasn't finished yet. And Reading leads 2-1 at Wycombe Wanderers. Reading's second goal coming from Lewis Wing, who every time he scores for Reading, I mentioned that he used to play in the Northern League for Brandon United and Seaham Red Star and Shildon and various different teams before he moved through to Middlesbrough and on to bigger and better things. In League 2, AFC Wimbledon 2-0 up on Notts County. It's goalless between Bradford and Accrington Stanley. Barrow are 1-0 down at Colchester United. Harrogate equalised in the 6th minute of first half injury time, so they're 1-1 at Crawley Town. Jack Muldoon with that equaliser. Crewe Alexandra 2-1 up on Doncaster. It's Grimsby 1, Sutton United 1. That was another very late first half equaliser for Sutton United. Newport County have the lead in the 50th minute of the first half. They lead Stockport County by 1-0. Salford City 2-1 up on MK Dons. That's another one in injury time at the end of the first half. Loads of goals at the very end of the first half so far today. Swindon are 1-0 up on Mansfield. Tranmere are 1-0 up on Gillingham. It's goalless between Walsall and Forest Green Rovers. And Wrexham lead by 3-0 at home to Morecambe.
Total Sport Northeast.
On the station with Newcastle and Sunderland commentary exclusively live.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Into non-league one where I'm getting very keen on doing these. Apologies.
Stronger legs on, and a shout at them until the ears bleed, says Packer.
Between AFC Fylde and Dorking Wanderers, but Gateshead in that same division 3 wins in a row, and they're halfway to making it 4 wins in a row because they lead by 1-0 at home to Southend United at the break. Stephen Wern after 14 minutes. But elsewhere, overall, it's not particularly good. South Shields losing 1-0 at home to Chester. Blythe Spartans losing 2-0 at home to Peterborough Sports. Those 2 games in National League North. In the NPL Premier Division, Morpeth are losing 1-0 away at Hyde United. Better news for the joint leaders of the NPL East Division, though. Hebburn 1-0 up at Belper at half-time. Amar Purwal after 45 minutes there. Goalless between Consett and Carlton, and in Dunstan's game away at Winterton Rangers. That's despite Winterton having their goalkeeper sent off midway through the first half. But our featured match this afternoon is at Woodhorn Lane, Ashington hosting Liversedge. Our non-league reporter Paul Dixon can tell us how the first half has gone. Paul.
Well, it hasn't gone that well for the home team. It's Ashington 0, Liversedge 1, and the goal was scored on 45 plus. It looked as though we're going to go in at nils each, and I think Ashington would have settled for that. But right on half-time, a corner on the right side, the ball came into the box, and goalkeeper Carl Dryan completely missed the ball. And there at the back post was Joe Walton to head the ball home. 1-0.
Yeah, pausing and spoiling our momentum to watch 2 dead rubber games, which was absolutely dire to watch. I know. It was well worth it, wasn't it? I tell you what though, if Sunderland come out second half and they get a quick goal, then the game will change. Right, there's 2 very weird ways it'll go. Plymouth get a 3rd goal, it's good night Vienna, with Pavarotti doing the chorus. It's as simple as that. We get an early goal, then we should see our experience and our fight come through. And who knows, could go through to win it, but I am saying but.
Hopefully they can in the second half. Half-time score, Ashington 0, Liversedge 1.
Paul, thank you very much, and apologies to Dunstan because I missed them taking the lead at the very end of the first half. So Chris McDonald scored. They are 1-0 up at 10-man Winterton Rangers. We will do our local football roundup at 5:45.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
This week, Colette started as our permanent newsreader, and to get to know her, you lot have been sending your questions in. Sarah sent me a message. If Colette had to kill off one Disney character, who would it be?
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty? Why?
The majority of people on social media are just basically saying we haven't got a cutting edge. I mean, Ekwar's not been the same since he had that injury.
Monday morning from 6. BBC Radio Newcastle.
And back in just a couple of minutes to both St James's Park and Home Park, because it's Newcastle 1, Chelsea 1, and Sunderland losing 2-0 at Plymouth. We'll have our commentaries of the second half beginning very shortly. Now to Newcastle Falcons, because we keep saying it, because it keeps being true. They're still looking for their first win of the season, but head coach Alex Codlin keeps saying the same things every time that Dean Gray interviews him, that it is all about improving.
Oh, look, as I said many times, I don't look at the league table. That's not because I'm avoiding the question. It's just the fact that we are a young group, and we'll take the Saracens game away, which we were second best by a distance. But actually, sometimes you realise that you watched the game the following week when they played Harlequins away and did pretty similar things to them. So they are a world-class team, and the other games would be really competitive. We should have and could have. So the table could and should look very different. It's not. You can't change the past. You can only influence the future.
Yeah.
And I said we're really geared up for Sunday, and we know it's a massive game, and everyone here is under no illusion how important it is to get the win.
Yes, it will be. They're at home to Exeter Chiefs, our Newcastle Falcons tomorrow afternoon. Live commentary with Dean Gray and Lee Hogarth on the BBC Sport website and app from around about 2:30. But like I say, the kickoff is at 3 o'clock. The top 4 in the Premiership played each other last night. So Sale beat Bath 11-9. Northampton Saints beat Harlequins 36-33. In the basketball today in the BBL, Durham Palatinate were 70-64 winners over Manchester Giants. Janica Griffith-Wallace with 26 points. El Hendershot as well gets some merit for 14 rebounds, a massive number that is. Tomorrow in the WBBL, Newcastle Eagles away at Sheffield Hatters. Tonight at 5 o'clock, the men are at Surrey Scorchers. In the snooker, then, Elliot Slessor is our only representative at the UK Championship. He gets underway tomorrow, but in the first matches today, Mark Allen against Ding Junhui. That is the replay of last year's final. Mark Allen leading 4-2. Mark Williams is 3-2 up on Fang Zhengyi. It is the first 6. And just to tell you about the ice hockey as well, because Whitley Warriors in action twice across the weekend. They're at home at 5 o'clock tomorrow to Nottingham Lions, but they're away at Blackburn Hawks at 6 o'clock this evening. Right then, if you want to listen to Newcastle against Chelsea with Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson, that commentary is on our FM frequencies. But if it's Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett for Sunderland's game at Plymouth that you want, you need to be listening on DAB Digital Radio and Freeview Channel 719.
Half-time highlights.
Total Sport North East.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Zalo and up through the middle, Edwards looking to get it to, well, eventually Cundle. Whittaker on the right-hand side. He cuts back inside and shoots and scores. 25 yards out. Just let go with his left foot. And it sailed beyond Patterson. Back to Lewis Gibson. And the Durham-born defender gets it through the middle. Azaz into the penalty area. Onto his right foot. 2-0. Finn Azaz in the 40th minute doubles Plymouth's lead with his 4th goal of the season.
Total Sport North East.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
It's got a similar ring to ours.
Anthony Mowbray is ringing the changes for the second half.
Expect them to be losing
Aushish and Mayenda are both coming on. Casting an eye across, I can't see Rusin, so he's clearly the first. Rusin's been replaced by Mayenda.
And Ekwa.
Ekwa is the other, yeah. Ekwa being replaced by Adil Aushish for the second half.
Well, if we win, I'm having chicken and tentacles for my tea tonight.
Have to get themselves back in it. They will get the second half underway. They're attacking the Barn Park end, defending the Devonport end. Referee James Bell gets us underway. Sunderland, a reminder in their red and white stripes.
Rusty says I'm getting a bit
Plymouth
tired with these predictable half-assed efforts from some changes with me. The question is, why is it the half-assed effort? I was just showing, I've got an attitude thinking, oh, it's only Plymouth will roll these over. Is this what's wrong?
Clark, he resumes and tries to put the ball across here and does to Hume.
We are back underway.
Hume lifts it into the box, headed away though by Plegwazuelo, and out eventually for a throw to Sunderland on the right, just down from Stephen Schumacher. Comes back to Hume from O'Nien, into the centre circle to Ballard, through to Jove, just inside the Plymouth half, and Huggins on the left, on the touchline. He's cut inside, looking for the run of Mayenda, but it's overhit, and the ball runs behind for a goal kick to Plymouth Argyle. They had a 3-3 draw here with Middlesbrough. That was a real ding-dong. It suggests that there is a way back in for Sunderland this afternoon, but they need to score sooner rather than later.
Next goal.
Yeah, you're right. Next goal it is. Next goal is critical. Really, it needs to fall to Sunderland, but it has to fall.
Good
to
choices, because they were just nothing first half. They weren't contributing anything to the side.
Away to our right, or lavender it is, I think, that colour. And the ball drops out for a throw to Plymouth on the far side. Sean Massey Ellis, the assistant on that wing. Ball nodded back to Edwards, and then the Spaniard Plegwazuelo. He's got to try to lift it up for Ben Wayne, who puts a thumbs up to the Spaniard, but it's come back through to Anthony Patterson, who's in yellow away to our left. He plays it to the corner of the box. Ballard plays it back to Patterson. He whips his right foot through it, drops on the chest of Plegwazuelo. He's chased by Mayenda, and the two Spaniards are shoulder to shoulder, and Mayenda's penalised. Free kick to Plymouth.
Imagine travelling all the way down there watching this.
Mayenda just got a little tug underneath the armpit and then a push in the back. And the free kick wide. And two over the ball. Whittaker and Houghton. Morgan Whittaker, scorer of the first of Plymouth's 2 this afternoon. Jordan Houghton stepped up to take it. He stepped back again.
That's
now.
the gamble.
Referee in his turquoise top is ready, and Houghton leaves it for Whittaker, who whips the ball in here, and it's headed behind. It's a goal kick. Off a Plymouth forward, straight behind. Patterson taps it to Luke O'Nien in the 49th minute. Plymouth, if you're just joining us on BBC Radio Newcastle, leading at half-time 2-0. Changes have been made. Aushish and Mayenda on for Ekwa and Rusin. As the ball floats down the right, Mayenda gives chase. It's put out by Lewis Gibson for a throw to Sunderland, halfway inside the Plymouth half. It'll be Hume to take the throw. Dan Neil behind him. I need some help here, and Aushish cuts in. Mumba's just in front of him. Roberts in the end taps it back to Hume, back again to Luke O'Nien.
Oh dear, Packer.
O'Nien trying to get away down the right, leaves it for Hume. Inside to Roberts. Roberts back to Ballard at the back of the centre circle, across to Huggins, still in the Sunderland half. Dan Neil in the centre circle. He leaves it for Luke O'Nien. O'Nien on halfway, turns. He's got Azaz in front of him, plays it back to Dan Neil. Tries to get it through to Job. An advantage after he was tripped. Mayenda's trying to cut through. He's played it out to the right here, and he just overhit the pass. And it whizzes past Roberts out for a throw to Plymouth. He's got strength, Mayenda, there's no question. When he's making one of those runs forwards, just needs that little bit more composure, yeah. Throw will be taken by Kane Kessler-Hayden, who's on loan from Aston Villa. He spent last season on loan at Huddersfield, the 21-year-old. It comes back down to Luke O'Nien. He puts it back into the middle of his own half to Ballard. Ben Waine goes to close him down. Ballard, well, he got caught, and it was a good challenge. Played through to Whittaker, who's still on his feet despite 1 or 2 challenges. Gets it to Waine. Wayne's trying to dig it out.
Crikey, what's our defence doing? Like, every time Plymouth go forward, they look like they're carving a Thorben every time they go forward.
Trying to break out with the ball.
See, that's the difference. They're running through the middle, they're running at us. We're just down the left, down the right, all the time.
It's only a corner, it's not a third goal for Plymouth. From the left-hand side, then Houghton will take it. He's got Barley Mumba behind him. And there's a bit of pushing and shoving. Luke O'Nien's pushing one of the Plymouth, I think it's Edwards.
Be careful.
The referee's got his eye on it. The ball's played into the far post, headed away by Ballard to the edge of the area, and Clark just tries to pull it down now for Dan Neil, who's looking for the run of Mayenda. Out to the touchline, he taps it well past the defender, but he's pushed off the pitch.
Clever play.
Yeah.
Mayenda.
Free kick. He effectively played it round the Plymouth player and was going to go round the other side, if you like. Here's Ballard to Dan Neil, out to Huggins on the left. Plymouth still leading 2-0 in the 52nd minute. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Out wide to Roberts here in front of Tony Mowbray, then back to Hume, edge of the centre circle, through to Job. Job again surrounded by green shirts. Hume puts a foot through it, but Pleguezuelo managed to get the ball away. It's picked up again by Huggins. And Huggins now down the left touchline to Jack Clark, dribbling at Edwards and Cundle, corner of the penalty area, still trying to get the ball in here. And she swung a foot at it, but too many green shirts, it goes behind for a corner. This from the left. Clark takes it short to Roberts. Roberts back to Jack Clark. Clark looks up, swings the ball into the box. Oh, and off the post from Hume, and then into the side netting from Aushish. Hume's volley off the right post.
How's he look?
That is desperately unlucky.
Excellent
lovely
header.
Touch. But couldn't. Sorry, header, yeah, off the post. And it's still 2-0 to Plymouth.
Nearest we've come to score in our game.
He said he thought it was going in, but hit the woodwork. Here's Ballard trying to find Sheesh again, now Joe. And Clark looks for the run of Roberts. It could run for him here. Keeper comes out though and slides to take the ball at the feet of Roberts. Good pass from Clark, good vision. But it just wouldn't work, wouldn't drop for Roberts. Now Mumba can't keep it in between the two coaches. Throw to Sunderland. Hume takes it, finds Dan Neil. Neil back to Luke O'Nien. Into the middle to Ballard. 54th minute. Out wide on the left to Huggins. Joe making a run. Mayenda behind Lewis Gibson. Wheels away from him to work some space. It's come back to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien up on the right hand side here looking for the run of Roberts. Drops over his shoulder and he gets inside of Hayden. He's tried to square it for Mayenda. Block though at the edge of the 6-yard box by Gibson. It's another corner. Roberts with urgency puts it down, takes it short to Sheesh. Sheesh back to Dan Neil. Neil back out to Roberts to cross. It hangs in the air. Swung in. Luke O'Nien trying to get a foot on it. Sheesh just wide of the right post.
That's the difference, Nick.
Surely this is not going to be another Swansea.
That's the difference. You've got to hit the target.
Swung it just wide of the right post. And it's still 2-0 to Plymouth. Certainly an urgency about Sunderland, and there needs to be. We're already 10 minutes.
That should have been in the back of the net. That should have been in the back of the net.
And they need to be getting back into this game sooner rather than later. As Ballard gets up, leaps up, gets the header forwards to Mayenda, finds Sheesh looking for the run of Clark, sprinting down the left wing, down towards the corner. Clark now got to come past Edwards. Edwards blocks. Corner again to Sunderland. Sheesh whipping up the Sunderland fans. Clark down in the corner. Sheesh across there with him in the 56th minute now. As Jack Clark sweeps his hands through his hair, right arm raised, whips us in with his right foot. It curls in here towards Ballard, who nods it down. It's cleared by Plymouth, back in from Dan Neil. Gibson gets ahead on it and gets it out again. Back in by Dan Neil, out again by Houghton. And Huggins has to chase back. Whittaker's making a run. Patterson comes out into the middle of his half and kicks it down the right wing. Kessler Hayden heads it away to Barley Mumba on this left-hand side. Inside then to Houghton. Out to the touchline. Hume keeps it in for Sheesh. He swings the ball across to Jack Clark. Corner of the penalty area. Chests it down, brings it on his right, straight to the keeper who spills it. Nobody there to follow up. Crashed off his chest and Mayenda was just a yard short. And back out down the other end. Ballard plays it back.
You can just see Plymouth going up and scoring, can't you? We've just absolutely battered these for the last 10 minutes here.
It's frenzied, it's frenetic.
Battered them.
And Sunderland are desperate trying to get a goal back. Here's Joe, left side of central midfield in the Plymouth half. Plymouth trying to get behind their team. Hugh.
Bristol 2, Middlesbrough 2. Blummin' heck.
Right wing, taking on Kessler Hayden. Rolls it in towards Sheesh in the penalty
Where'd that
area.
come from?
He's worked a bit of space, but it's straight to the hands. It's crossed.
Bristol 2, Middlesbrough 2.
Can Sunderland keep this going?
I tell you what. They're knocking on the door, Nick.
They are. But Plymouth now trying to slow
So Middlesbrough back on level terms.
Keeper with the ball, throws it down. Mayenda comes to hurry him along. He kicks Michael Cooper up through.
Sounds like a better start of the half. It is, but just no end product at the minute.
Patterson rolls it out to Ballard here.
So if Middlesbrough can do it, can we do it?
Through the middle to Dan Neil. Neil through the centre circle. Still going, laying it off through the referee's legs to Joe. Out wide to Clark, taking on Edwards. In the penalty area on the left. Pulls it back to Dan Neil. Low shot, deflected behind by Gibson. Another corner. Sunderland's 9th.
onslaught, isn't it?
It is, but will they get something as a result of the onslaught? They need something. 58th minute. Clark, right-footed, swings it in. Up goes Ballard, glancing header behind, and well wide. Goal kick to Plymouth Argyle. 58 minutes play. Plymouth Argyle 2, Sunderland 0. Well, I can't say the changes haven't worked. They have, but they're just not getting much luck. Michael Cooper places the ball in the middle of the 6-yard line. Everybody up and around the centre circle and out to the left. Cooper kicks up through the middle, up goes Dan Neal, comes straight down to Azaz. Ashish goes to close him down. Mumba goes past Ashish. Mumba trying to roll it in, but O'Nien cuts it out, flicks it to Hume, down the line to Roberts, inside to Ashish. He rolls it down the line. Mayenda will give chase. Gibson gets in front of him and gets the ball back to Michael Cooper, who passes it out to Plegwazuelo. He plays it back to Cooper on the 6-yard line. Mayenda is there, but he's played it out. Cooper to Kundle, who gets it back to Mayenda. He's given the ball away. Mayenda at the edge of the area, through the legs of a defender, but Job can't get on the end of it. Kundle happy just to sweep it out for a throw. Sunderland forcing Plymouth's players to make mistakes. Hume with a throw to Roberts, back to Hume. Hume back to Roberts. Roberts back again to O'Nien, into the middle now to Ballard in the centre circle. Through to Job, back to Dan Neal. He plays it to O'Nien. O'Nien out wide now to Roberts. Roberts through on the left. Ashish back to O'Nien. O'Nien drills the ball across looking for Clark. Heads it back behind him. And he's offside. Free kick to Plymouth. Drummer banging away relentlessly to our left. And Cooper jogging out, the goalkeeper, to take this free kick. Picks up the ball, drops it down again. Everybody towards the far side. Frustration etched on the face of Tony Mowbray. Shoulder on his shoulders, Mark Venus, as they discuss what to do as the ball breaks for Mumba in the centre circle, looking for the run on the right-hand side of Edwards. He rolls it out to Whittaker, and he's got to come in past Huggins. Whittaker still trying to get in here, and he does. Pulls it back. Mumba couldn't get his foot wrapped round it, and Job has to clear. Mayenda. Now, was he just touched back by Gibson? The ball's rolled away from him, back here eventually from Plegwazuelo to the goalkeeper. Mayenda hasn't complained, goes to close the goalkeeper down. His clearance goes straight through to Patterson. 62nd minute, 2-0 still to Plymouth. BBC Radio Newcastle. Here's Ashish back to Hume. Hume looking for the run of Ashish, headed out by Kessler Hayden. Halfway inside the Plymouth half. Roberts to Ashish. Roberts here with him, still on the touchline. Roberts now trying to make a burst into the penalty area. Azaz gets the ball off him to Mumba, and Mumba now, he's trying to shake off Ashish, and Mumba plays it back behind him, and it's swept away by Gibson. Up to Ballard on the halfway line. Wayne goes to close him down. Ballard gets away from him to Job, and Job now, he's trying to take this down and out to Clark on the left wing. Clark inside again to Job.
Don't lose
quickly
it. Don't
close
lose
down.
It.
And Whittaker has it for, Houghton has it for Plymouth and finds Mumba. Behind him is Kessler Hayden, and he just taps it back to Cooper. Kicks it up to the halfway line. O'Nien nods it straight down to Azaz. Azaz has got Mumba in support on the left-hand side. Goes inside though. Kundle can't quite control it. Plays it back behind him to Houghton. And now to Kessler Hayden. Back into the middle, and Houghton plays it to Plegwazuelo, who finds Edwards, then wide. Whittaker, 2-1 to Newcastle at home to Chelsea, as Whittaker's tackled by Huggins. And Huggins now trying to get away on the left-hand side. Got a bit of space. He gets up to the halfway line and flicks it to Ashish. Ashish in the centre circle, wide to Roberts. Roberts taking on Kessler Hayden. right side of the penalty area, floats one over the crossbar from the right. Just over the top.
Yeah, I think that was a cross, Nick. I think Pritchard will come on, Barr will come on. I think they're looking about making a substitution.
Yeah.
Maybe Joby Bellingham will come on.
Actually. So now Newcastle 3, Chelsea 1. It's 2-0 to Plymouth in the 64th minute. And Sunderland preparing further changes in a bid to get in the game, and it looks like it's sealed. Is it, or is it Triantis? It's something to me. It certainly looks like there's going to be. I think it's sealed, but well, just underneath the lip of the dugout at the minute. Here's Roberts. Behind him is O'Nien. Yeah, it's Jensen Sealt's going to come on. Barr's going to come on as well.
They're going to come on when they go 3.
And here's Job trying to get through. Mayenda leaves it for Job. Job then trying to flick it over to Roberts, which is headed behind by Mumba. Another corner, a 10th corner for Sunderland.
Just beating the seat of my daughter. She's just come down for the teaser. Have we gone any closer or not?
Side. So not Aushish. Roberts to take it on the right hand side with Aushish with him, and it's headed out by Gibson. Comes back to Huggins, 65th minute, out on the right to Aushish. Aushish back into the centre, Dan Neal. Neal looks to play it wide to the left into penalty area. O'Nien over his shoulder and out for a goal kick.
It's Triantis, isn't it?
No, so it's a Dax coming on, it's Sealt's coming on.
Sealt's. Yes, it is 3. Dak
and Barr. Huggins is coming off for Sealt.
Last throw of the dice.
Yeah. So, yeah, Jensen Sealt comes on for him.
Barr will come off.
Barr for Dak for Job.
Yeah.
So Dak's on now.
Roberts.
I think Roberts makes the obvious one, isn't it? And it is Roberts, yeah. The Barr. So, as you say, that's it. Last throw of the die then. 5 substitutions in this second half. Sealt, Barr and Dak on for Huggins, Roberts and Job. Sunderland trailing 2-0. Needs to be some comeback now. Ball out for a throw to Sunderland on the right-hand side. Sealt will take this one. Jogging back down towards Tony Mowbray to take this throw. Finds Aushish. Gets it down to Barr on this right wing. Barr taking on Kessler Hayden. It goes shoulder to shoulder and Kessler Hayden managed to get a foot to it and put it out for a throw to Sunderland. Barr takes quickly. Back to Sealt. Sealt back to O'Nien. On the halfway line, on the right-hand side. Through to Aushish, just flicks it behind him to Sealt, to O'Nien, back on to Aushish on the right, who's looking for Clark on the left, but it's headed out by Edwards. Throw to Sunderland.
It's interesting where Sealt is playing.
He's playing in sort of midfield, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just ahead of, alongside Neal, effectively, in that midfield square, if you like, with O'Nien and Ballard behind. But it's gone out for another throw, this time to Plymouth Argyle. 67th minute. Plymouth 2, Sunderland 0. Edwards with the throw. Down the line it goes.
So ashamed of Sunderland. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Hume. And it comes back down the left wing for Mayenda to chase into the corner. Pleguezuelo is there with him. It's dug out by Mayenda. Behind him is Clark. Crosses here, looking for Barr. And he's had it just wide of the angle.
Like on the back of his head, hasn't he?
Yeah, didn't really know where it was. Did he let at it, but with no real conviction. So, yeah, he didn't know.
Wow, Newcastle
was on his shoulder and sort of put him off. 68.
Newcastle 3-1 up against Chelsea.
Cooper with the goal kick. Sunderland in their red and white stripes. Plymouth are eyeing up a change or two as well. Silt
Yes,
nods
darling.
the ball down. Azaz, it's whipped off him by Dan Neal. It comes back to Lewis Gibson. Gibson, Mayenda goes to close him down, but it's played back to Cooper. Cooper clears into touch on the far side. Throw to Sunderland on the left. About a third of the way inside the Plymouth half. Drops to Dak. Dak trying to shake off Whittaker. He did, and he's got the ball.
It's
back
Huddersfield
inside to
League
Dan
game,
Neal,
isn't
behind
it?
him is O'Nien coming up. He plays it wide now to Barr. Barr has Kesler Hayden in front
It's
of him.
Huddersfield
Barr
League
trying to
match, yeah?
shimmy his way past them, then leaves it here. Well, it wasn't really played with conviction as to who that was for, but O'Nien passes.
Would
in
there
the
be alarm
box,
bells if we
and
lost
Edwards
against
heads it
Huddersfield or
behind for a
failed to
corner.
beat them?
Clark down quickly.
Would
to
there be
take it
alarm
short.
bells if we failed to beat
Over on that
Huddersfield?
far side, whipped in here and headed away. Whistle's blown. Free kick for a foul on the Plymouth defender, who's now lying in the back of the net. Now Shish's cross, and the Plymouth player down is going to get some treatment. Plymouth won't be unduly bothered by that, to slow things down again, take the sting out of Sunderland's attempts to try and get back in this game. 2-0 down in the 70th minute, Sunderland. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle. We're back again on Monday night, of course, with Total Sport, when we'll be chewing over the bones of this one. And then on Wednesday night, we've got full commentary of Sunderland at home to
Do you think we should
Huddersfield.
make the
In
posts
between
out of
times,
form,
it's
out of
Paris
politics
Saint-Germain
to
against
safety?
Newcastle in the Champions League. All this on BBC Radio Newcastle.
Yes, my darling. Hello,
Plymouth's
yes,
players
Ped.
all come over for
Yeah,
a
then.
drink. Sunderland's players still in little groups
Oh, darling.
discussing
Oh, wait there, darling, wait there.
tactics.
You're going to get your chips.
O'Nien has a few fingers up at Barr, not in any disrespectful way, but there's clearly been a change in formation or tactics that he's relaying to the rest of the team. The Plymouth player still being treated inside the Plymouth goalmouth. I'm not sure who it is. It's not one of the centre halves. Jordan Houghton, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Houghton is the player who's being treated at the minute. The referee's still there with him. Houghton's still sitting and now helped up in the goal. Technically, he's off the pitch. Oh, he's back on it. And he's being shown round the post and off the pitch. Double switch then coming from Plymouth, including Bundu. The Sierra Leone Mustafa Bundu.
Adam Randall.
Yes, Ped.
And Randall, yeah.
Oh, darling.
The striker coming back from
Me, darling.
a
Just sitting
hamstring
here.
issue, Bundu.
Oh, darling.
Randall, who
Hello.
started against Leeds. He's going to come on as well.
Wait there,
The ball
darling.
is out here for a throw to Plymouth. Houghton waiting to come back on. Wayne heads the ball back to Kesler
Sunler.
Hayden, who lifts it
Oh,
high
darling.
in the air. And Clark has to get back. Edwards is on his shoulder. Clark
Oh,
gives
darling.
it back to
Hello. Off
Anthony
me then.
Patterson. Passes it to
Thank
Luke
you.
O'Nien. The two Plymouth substitutes then waiting to come on. Bundu,
Yes, Pet.
26 years old, 1 goal this
Oh,
season.
sorry.
Sheffield Wednesday as Mayenda trying to get through the middle. He's played it into the path. Now Sheesh! And it's just pushed off his toes. And Mayenda's furious, thinking it should be a corner.
Give a goal kick.
My mates just said this is what you get trying to
Wayne is
get
coming on to be
inexperienced
replaced
strikers
by
on the cheap.
Bundu.
We will not be going up this season.
A standing ovation for Ben Wayne, the New Zealander. And it's Cundall who's coming off.
Yes,
for
Ped.
Randall.
Oh. Thank you, darling. Oh, thank you.
Adam Randall's one of their own, as they'd say. It's from Plymouth.
We just
Come through the academy.
we just don't seem to be able to do that more, do we? Like get 5 or 6 wins on the bounce. It just
So
it's such a mixture of results from Sunderland
at the
minute.
final 20 minutes of the game. Well into that now. With 73rd minute. There will be 3 or 4 minutes for that stoppage, though, easily. So 2-0 Plymouth lead. Substitutions made. Ball sails over Bundu's head. It comes back to Patterson, and he rolls it out now to Luke O'Nien. And O'Nien plays it back to Patterson from the edge of the area. Passed out to
Darling.
Dan Neil back
Wobhead.
to Patterson. Patterson passing out wide now on the left to Hume. Forwards to Dack. Back it comes to Ballard under pressure from Bundu. So it's Patterson. Passes it out to Sealt.
Any word of
Sealt
SCFC
plays it
shopping
back
for a
into the
strike in
area to
January? I
Ballard.
think they have to, Mark. To be
Ballard will
honest with
bring
you,
this
mate.
out and out to the wing to Trey Hume. Hume goes down the line to Clark. Clark cutting in, and Barr is calling for it on the right here, but it's coming to the middle, the centre circle to O'Nien. Now Alshish. Barr makes a run down this right side of the penalty area. Kessler Hayden's gone with him. Barr still has it.
Yes, my darling.
Flicks it back in. It comes off Mumba, but that drops to Alshish, and he tries to play it in. I think he knew what he was doing. He played it off Mumba for a corner kick. Sunderland's 12th corner, but nothing to show for it yet. Alshish then on the right-hand side, 75th minute. Bodies in the box. Mayenda on the 6-yard line. As Alshish plays this in, swings this in, headed down by Ballard.
Corner again,
another corner.
It's a free header as well, Nick.
Headed it downwards powerfully, but took a deflection. I don't think it was on target, actually, but who knows. It's gone out for another corner. Chelsea down to 10 men at Newcastle. They're trailing 3-1. Clark on the left with this 13th time lucky. It swings in here, and it's headed away by Lewis Gibson. Barr is out in midfield, just trying to bring it down in front of Azaz, and he's gone a little bit wide, and now plays it back behind him, swept in by Hume, hangs in the air, drops over. Sheesh cleared, and it's a break possibly for Whittaker. It's got Mumba sprinting through the middle. Bunda's up there as well. Mumba's still going. Mumba's into the penalty area. Mumba shoots wide. Barney Mumba sprints through and just puts it inches wide of the foot of the left post against his former club.
Yeah.
Well, that thankfully went wide, because that would have wrapped it up.
That would have been the icing on the cake for him, wouldn't it, really?
Yeah. Hearts and mouths at that point. There's a determination about Mumba this afternoon, and one can understand why. Here's Dack wide on the left, just in the Plymouth half. Plays it back across on the halfway line to O'Nien. Wide now to Barr. Barr pushing on. He's going to put a ball in the box here. Falls behind me. Andrew tried to spin on it. Dack brings it down onto his left. Finds Clark. Blocked by the right foot of Cooper. Cooper just going down to make the block with his right foot from Clark at the angle. Comes back out here now to Dan Neil. And Neil leaves it for Hume. Down the left again to Clark. Clark taking on Edwards, gets into the penalty area, still has it right-footed. Another block. Plymouth players. There's an appeal from Sunderland, half-hearted appeals for handball, but it's out to Randall on the right, and he plays it down the line. It comes back here to Ballard on halfway. He plays it across to Luke O'Nien in the centre circle. 77th minute, and Ballard to Bradley. Dack now looking for Clark on the left. Edwards going with him. Clark into the penalty area, plays it through into the 6-yard box. A little touch out by Kessler Hayden, nobody there. Sealt picks it up on this right hand side. He's got to try and get past Mumba, and a goal kick. It's just not coming right for them.
You know what the big question's going to be? Striker.
Oh, it's clear. There's no one to put the ball in the back of the net.
But again, you know, you got Clark there. He didn't catch the ball sweetly or cleanly, did he?
Good stop by Cooper.
It was still a good stop, but
it's
got to be a better strike.
Around Bundu. It comes out to Luke O'Nien on the right. Barr's making his run. Meyenda's making a run through the middle, but Cooper will be there first. Catches the ball ahead of Eliza Mayenda. And 78th minute, Plymouth Argyle 2, Sunderland 0. They've got to score soon, Sunderland, if they're going to get anything from this. Cooper with a kick. The sky darkening, the floodlights on, the ball bounces away from Clark, out for a throw to Plymouth on the far side. They've lost only 3 at home this season of the 8 played here. They're pretty strong at home. As I say, they scored 6 against Norwich, 3 against Sheffield Wednesday, 3 against Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough managed to scrape a 3-all draw. Can Sunderland scrape a 2-2 draw? They're 2-0 down. They've got probably 15 minutes left, if not more. Here is Hume on the left from Dak, and he's taking it on Hume, and he's trying to cross in the box. It spins off Mayenda. It's hooked away by Kessler-Hayden. Out here on the left-hand side to Mumba, chests it down, and he's under pressure from Sealt, pushes him in the back, and Plymouth get the free kick. 79th minute. Stephen Schumacher telling his Plymouth players just to calm it down, just to keep your heads. Plymouth go to Coventry on Tuesday night. Here's Cooper then with a free kick on the left. The Plymouth keeper kicks it out straight into the hands of Sealt, who takes a quick throw to Ballard. Ballard across the back of the Plymouth penalty area, bringing this out through the middle, the Sunderland penalty area, bringing it out for the middle. Tony Mowbray's waving his right arm in the air, trying to get this forward as quick as possible. Here's O'Nien trying to go around Azaz. He has to cut back inside O'Nien into the centre circle and across to Hume, and then down the line to Clark. Clark closed down immediately on the far side, but still managed to retain possession. Through now to Al-Shish, pokes it through to Mayenda. Maybe he's gone a little wide and plays it into the side netting. Plymouth forced him on the angle.
Too wide.
Took it too wide. Down the side of the 6-yard box and into the side netting. Didn't have the conviction to keep going through the middle. 81st minute, Plymouth still lead 2-0. Yeah. Goal kick again to Plymouth Argyle. And Cooper then sends it over halfway down the right. Ballard heads it back onto the foot of Leguizuelo. O'Nien nods it down to Hume. Hume trying to get it down to Dak, who gets a head on it, but it goes out for a throw to Plymouth, just inside the Sunderland half on the right-hand side. We're in the twilight zone quite literally now. It's the skies darken even further in the 81st minute. Plymouth with this throw just inside the Sunderland half, into the middle. It's going to break possibly for Al-Shish, up and under, high up in the air in the Plymouth half, and Kessler-Hayden heads it away from Barr. Out for a throw to Sunderland, which Barr takes quickly. Back it comes to Luke O'Nien, back out to Barr on the right, and he plays it off Mumba for a throw again to Sunderland on this right-hand side, and he plays it back to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien drives the ball across to the left, but it's going to be headed away by Edwards to Randall, now looking for Bundu, and calling for it as Azaz, and Whittaker's through the middle. Bundu breaks on the right-hand side, tries to score from there, or was that a cross? It's going to drop for Mumba on the left of the penalty area, flicks it inside now to Whittaker on the goal line, pulls it back, and it has to be hooked away by Ballard for a throw to Plymouth on this left-hand side, just in the corner. Of course, Sunderland run the risk to exposing themselves to being left open at the back in chasing the game now. It's a throw which Mumba will take. He's got 16,457 as the attendance this afternoon, just splashed on the scoreboard. And here is Mumba on the left-hand side, trying to work his way through. He's got through here on the left. pulls the ball in here, drops for Bundu. He should have scored, he's just put it over the bar. He was looking for the top right corner and he wasn't far over.
Yeah, great play again by Mumba on this left-hand side.
Bundu
Yeah,
will be
we're
wondering
chasing
how
the
he didn't
game, we're
score.
leaving ourselves a little bit open, which we've got to, trying to get back into the game.
83rd minute, 84th minute now.
You know, we'll be talking about the game again, about the word we're going to be using is frustration.
Well, and what you said in the first half, you've got to be taking your chances.
You've got to take your chances.
They can come back to bite you on the backside, and they have. As the ball breaks over on the left, Hume inside his own half to Patterson in the middle. 84th minute. There's got to be at least 5 minutes added on. As O'Nien finds Barr, closed down by Mumba. Barr's holding him off, being forced back though by Azaz. Then the ball breaks nearly for Bundu.
You can't do
Plays
that.
it back to Mumba, and now down the left-hand side, Kessler Hayden making a break, cutting across his O'Nien. The ball rolls behind for a goal kick. What's the referee's? Oh, O'Nien's got involved with Kessler Hayden. Bit of a wrestling match. Kessler Hayden reacts, so does a couple of Plymouth players. Now Sunderland players are wading in. The referee steps back from it all. And rather than not get involved, all the players run across to get involved. And the referee is now going to start calling.
I think Jensen still will be
out.
Booked here, a bit silly.
O'Nien is going to be booked. Kessler Hayden is going to be booked. Singled out. And everyone else heads back upfield.
But that's all happened because Barr's on the ball, and you know, you're under a bit of pressure. It does a back heel.
Yeah.
Great when they come off.
But
he just put you on the
puts
on the
himself
pressure.
under pressure. Newcastle 4-1 up against 10-man Chelsea. So the two bookings, O'Nien and Kessler Hayden. Passed out here to Dan Neal, 85th minute. Across to Ballard. It's going to be something special now for Sunderland to get something from this. Here's Ballard inside to Hume. Barr calling for it. Hume bringing it through the middle. Rolling it across to O'Nien. Had to be alert to get to it quickly. Sealed back to O'Nien. Under pressure from Houghton to Hume. Through to Dack in the centre circle. Now trying to get it through the eye of the needle for Aushish, but Plymouth have managed to get away with it. And Mayenda, well, he's got away with a good tackle. It's come out to Barr on the right-hand side here. Through to Aushish. Down to Mayenda on the edge of the area. A block by Kessler Hayden. And a goal kick. '86th minute, Plymouth still lead 2-0. They are about to make another couple of changes, Plymouth. This is a game which in the build-up we said, if Sunderland lose this, Tony Mowbray will be desperately disappointed, because this is a game, when they looked at it, they should be winning.
Should be winning, and we talked about that at the start of the game, Nick, before a ball was kicked. But to do that, you've got to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
It's all right saying ifs and buts and we had all the, you know, percentage of the play.
They've been clinical, Plymouth. Here is Hume under pressure from Whittaker, who scored the first. Back to Patterson. And
yeah, it'd be interesting to see the stats. How many shots have they had? How many shots was blocked? How many
Brendan
opportunities
Galloway's going
created?
to come on. Matt Butcher's going to come on. Here is Bundu trying to get the ball to Whittaker, won by Sealt. Sealt now trying to break. He nearly got pulled back by Whittaker, but he's cut through here. Leaves the ball for Dack, and Dack now to Aushish. Aushish, left corner of the penalty area, trying to get past Randall. Leaves it for Clark. Clark plays it back into Aushish here, pulls it back. Over the head of Dack, out to Whittaker, who's happy to clear it into touch. And so 2-0 it remains.
Butcher's coming on.
Butcher and Galloway to come on for Plymouth. Azaz is coming off for Butcher. Azaz, scorer of Plymouth's second. And Whittaker is coming off, so they're putting on a defender in Galloway to see out the last however many minutes it may be that will get added on. And Whittaker in no hurry. And former Sunderland defender, former Everton defender Brendan Galloway comes on now. Throw for Sunderland, 20 yards to the corner on the left-hand side. Hume will take it. Sheesh makes a run, Mienda makes a run. Mienda has got Houghton around him and also Kessler Hayden, who's knocked it out for another throw to Sunderland. Hume and Aushish. Aushish trying to get the ball out from underneath his feet and into the penalty area. Edwards heads it clear. Bundu heads it on, and now it's headed back by Luke O'Nien to Dan Neal, who knocks it away to the left-hand side to Clark. Clark coming inside now, then going back out and cutting back in again here, looking for Sealt. Cut out though by Butcher, who plays it straight to Hume. O'Nien in the centre circle to Dan Neal, and then Hume, and he's swung one up towards the edge of the area. Ballard's up now, it bobbles about, it comes down. Galloway was trying to get a foot on it, it comes out here into midfield. Barr is trying to win it on the shoulder of Bali Mumba, and in the end Barr twists round, Mumba is pulled down, and it's a free kick to Sunderland. We're in the last minute. Charles Breakspeare's the fourth official. How much will be added on? Sheesh.
Hi guys, I'm back. My daughter was just getting that tea sorted.
Free kick. Tony Mowbray's in the ear of the fourth official.
I don't think he's happy with the time he's
how much is going to be added. Sheesh then with this free kick. They're going to make something count in the next minute or two. Sheesh swings this in. Dat looking for it, headed out to Mumba. Mumba knocking it out again behind Bundu. Sliding in is Luke O'Nien to get it back to Dan Neal. It's a sprint across for Sealt to the far side. He kept it in, but it's given it to Kessler Hayden. He's knocked it down the touchline and it's gone out for a Sunderland throw. 6 minutes is going to be added on now.
Hi guys, I'm back. I was just sorting my daughter out for her tea and that, but just not happened today, has it?
And free kick to Plymouth Argyle. That's not the right way to go about the first of the 6 minutes. Sunderland trailing 2-0.
Days as we keep buying wingers on the cheap. Thank you for the commentary, much pity about the result. You're welcome, mate. P-I-S-S power up front. Sunderland fans look absolutely fed up.
Starting to leave. I think they're fearing the worst, and that's quite understandable in the circumstances.
So what's the excuse for today then, lads? What do you think? What's going on? Not to worry about, just dust ourselves down.
Sealt gets in front of him, gets the ball to O'Nien. O'Nien coming away with this, playing it across to Jack Clark on the far side. Quickly tackled by Edwards, who fouled him in doing so. Edwards won't lose any sleep over that. Free kick as Neal comes away with the ball now, over halfway, out wide to Hume. Back behind him is
a bad day
Jack
at the
Clark,
office.
just inside the Plymouth half, and we played 1 minute and nearly 30 seconds of the 6 minutes, and Plymouth still lead 2-0. Clark trying to get the ball down the left. Hume puts the ball in the penalty area, looking for Sealt, but it's headed away by Gibson. Comes out to Dan Neal in the middle, plays it to Aushish to his right, and Aushish being closed down by Butcher, plays it out to Barr.
Plymouth are just up for the game more than what we are. It's as simple as that. They're up for it more.
Sunderland. Stephen Schumacher's furious, has a word with the fourth official.
He's going to get booked.
And there'll be a booking for Mumba. Much to the furore of the Plymouth fans. So
sorry, mate, I can't see. You're welcome, Paco. I totally understand you, mate. I'll see you later.
Plymouth Argyle half. Drives it in the air, hangs for a minute. Keeper comes out, punches it over Ballard's head, out towards Dan Neal, but Bundu is on the end of this. Rolls it now to Kessler Hayden, who's into the Sunderland half. Bundu is on his shoulder, and it's played off Hume. It falls for Randall, who plays it off again. Hume, back it comes to Edwards, and back to the keeper. He kicks it back into the Sunderland half. O'Neill nods it on now to Dan Neil on halfway on the left, lays it off to Jack Clark in the 93rd minute. Down the line here to Barr, who's on the left now. Barr dribbling towards the corner of the penalty area, but it comes back to Kessler Hayden, back then to Jack Clark. Jack Clark plays it across to Sealt here, and Sealt in the middle of the Plymouth half to Clark again, trying to shoot.
There's nothing coming off for Sunderland at all, like just nothing whatsoever. Oh, you're welcome, Dazes, mate.
And down the left, he's trying to get round Galloway to the far post. It's headed down towards Ballard and just over the bar. Cooper got a fingertip to it.
Great save.
To put it over for a corner in the 94th minute. So
either side of the keeper, that's in.
The 14th corner from the left. Plenty of bodies in the box, couple more outside them. It's curled in by Dack. It's going to fall for Hume, who's looking for another corner. It's a goal kick. That was Aushish's.
Sunderland fans are streaming for the exits now.
And we've got 2 minutes left. The slightest of touches from Cooper to take the ball over the bar. So, goal kick for Plymouth.
Wow.
95th minute. Cooper drives it down the left. Up goes Sealt with Bundu.
This league is a funny league. Everybody seems to be capable of beating everybody, apart from the top two.
Kessler Hayden runs onto it, skips round Hume.
But it seems to me the league table, league positions at the moment are just not making any sense whatsoever. Like, oh, we're playing these, the third off bottom, we should beat these. It's just not the case, is it? Look at Middlesbrough today. Look at Leeds last night. Now look at us.
Going to take Galloway on as he goes inside Mumba. Got the slightest of touches and Mumba went down, but play goes on. Galloway's bringing this away. Barr tackles him. And Barr plays it into the centre circle now to Aushish. We're into the last minute now, as it falls to Clark on the left-hand side to Aushish in the penalty area. Tried to play it into Dack, cleared by Pelleguazuelo, out for a throw.
Would you be happy with a point, lads?
And I think the Plymouth fans now realise the 3 points are
Would you be happy with a point?
To leave the stadium with 45 seconds or less left of the 6 minutes. The ball's put back in the penalty area by Sunderland. Ballard tries to get on the end of it, but all he can do is head it back behind for a goal kick.
I'm turning the stream off now. That's it. I'm done with it.
You know, you look at, again, we talk about the stats.
I'd rather be Championship 2 than Division 1 at the minute.
Chances which we've made, Nick, and we still haven't scored. We still haven't scored.
Plenty could be here all night. Half chances and a couple of blocks, but first half cost them dearly.
You don't score goals, Nick, you're not going to win games.
6-pointer against Huddersfield Town Wednesday evening.
From the goalkeeper into the 97th minute now. The ball with Dan Neil, and then Butcher puts his foot through it, and there goes the full-time whistle from James Bell.
Well, that's me, end of my stream, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You can't polish a decent turd, but that was absolutely Italian cacai fungi. I'm going to try and enjoy liver and onion pizza tonight, if I can. So we will catch you on the flip side. Toodaloo.